I think we need to talk about the elephant in the room, which is the results from yesterday finalized the top 5 for the year.
Suck my dick.
I haven't been here, so I wouldn't be sure.
Please tell me who the top 5 for the year are.
Yeah, who was it again?
So the winners of Rand Bets across the 52 weeks were Jedi with 21.
Alright.
Even though he left like 2 months ago. Mao with 18, which is pretty damn close to Jedi, which is pretty cool. Me with 7, Risky with 5, and Caduceon with 1. So that's the top 5 right there.
Jedi
Alright.
You know, getting first is pretty good, but personally I prefer getting second, because that's like, you know, there's something special to be said.
You're not even that good at it. You're second at coming second, so shut up.
I'm not even the best at coming second yet. I'm just coming meta second.
You come third. Yeah, you're not even good at coming second.
I also haven't come second.
Alright.
Are we playing?
I want to ask you guys something really interesting.
Sorry, what?
I want to ask you guys something.
Yeah, sure. What the hell?
So, what's the absolute weirdest fighting game you've ever played?
This is a out of left field question.
Yes, it's a very strange question, but I want to ask it.
The weirdest fighting game I've ever played is...
Counter 2, baby.
I guess Counter 2, yeah.
Counter 2 is...
Yeah, Counter 2 is for me too.
This is probably weird stuff from that.
Sure, I guess.
KO of Wing is pretty weird, I guess. Like the first one, KO of Wing, like 1.0, that was pretty weird. I guess not that weird at the end of it. Counter 2 is really weird because it doesn't have collision boxes. That's like the fighting game, the defining fighting game thing that people just don't know. It also has infinite buffer like Smash Ultimate, which is what I don't like.
Wait, Smash Ultimate has infinite buffer?
Yeah, you can like as Fox or whatever.
Moves.
You can like.
I know you can buffer moves in Counter. Like you can just hold the button forever.
Yeah, you can do the same thing. Like Trevon saying why you're doing with playing a truck driving sim. Because we can have something to watch in the back as we are talking about stuff. Because I'm not gonna put Skullgirls on.
Yeah, Skullgirls demands too much attention.
Yeah, because like first of all, like I'm not gonna put on sets because that would just be distracting. I also don't want a training mode because I just don't want to. I haven't gone into training mode in a little while. I don't care. Yeah, it's just for viewing pleasure. Like if you don't care about what's happening, you can watch me not fail, which is not happening today.
He's going to crash the truck, though.
I'm not gonna crash the truck.
He is.
The other thing I wanted to say before my dog started going off his nut, the other big winners of the year, I think, were Kato, since I think it was his first win, CJ, since he got like third at a major and was getting second.
Third at 2 majors.
Yeah, and Neffy, like starting this year and getting a top 2 was really impressive as well.
Didn't Neff really start this year? It feels like he's been here around.
I went to YSBs for like 6 months before I actually played Skullgirls.
Right.
I went to a few after parties before then too.
Right. Okay. So that's why it feels like you've been around.
And his first one was week 1 this year.
Okay, so he started playing in net play 20 this year.
Although, like, even that I think was 1 week of labbing.
There's actually a lot more people than I realized. Hello, everybody. Also, I think we should leave this discussion into the second topic, which is the Rising Stars into 2020. Because it kind of ties into that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does.
So what's keeping up with the world?
So the first topic,
Liam's topic.
Yeah, I guess we can start talking about that. I need to do the fancy thing. Yeah. Oh shit.
Someone wants to read that topic out.
I'll introduce it because I am the host, I guess. Fuck. There we go. This is, by the way, this color is 338800. If you guys care about that. Okay, so
what color is that anyway? Like, what does it look like?
Green. Oh, jeez.
Oh, it's green.
Can you stop?
Looks like lime green. No, lime green's lighter.
Yeah.
That guy, are you the one breathing into your microphone really loudly?
Oh, sorry, I just realized it was really close. My bad.
Yeah.
You can speak at like a 90-degree angle into it. You don't have to breathe directly into it.
Okay.
Oh no, my mic's directly on my headset.
Ah, okay.
Just move the mic further away, I guess.
Yeah. Just have it a little bit further.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I guess we can talk about it. I will read out what they said entirely. What's the best way to ensure that your region can keep up with other regions that are more powerful if you can't net play with them or attend their locals/majors? Do you all just do your own thing and let the game evolve in OCE how it's going to evolve? Or do you also try the same things that other players from EU, NA, JP are doing to see how you can level up your play? I will go last. I will let, we should do like, I guess we can do it, what do you call it? We can do it alphabetically, so Age, you can start first.
Okay, so I think this is much less of a big deal with the amount of footage that's available these days. And, like, linked to that is the fact that people share tech almost immediately. Like, back in the day, obviously, if you're in a small scene and you don't have access to majors or other groups, you're going to have your own little meta, and it's not going to get influenced by the top players. But we can all see when like Pen comes up with something stupid, or Sonic Fox does something cool. Like, you incorporate that into your own play if you can, and then whatever counterplay your region comes up with just develops naturally. I think the way
Does that count?
I think the way that you keep up with the world is kind of keeping like a tacit agreement with other regions that you're sharing details of what's going on, like putting out videos, putting out tech.
Yeah, I mean, with like match footage nowadays, it's just kind of like an implicit thing that you'll see what the other regions are doing.
Hey Drip, I don't want to interrupt you, but C is before D, so... Alright.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, shit. What the hell? Okay. It's a crash, I guess. I guess I can go
Can
now.
someone let Tox in?
Wait, did
sorry.
you crash the truck?
No, I didn't. There was like a crash on the road.
He crashed it.
No, I didn't. You can look at it. What did he say? Yeah, join any voice chat and then I can move it in. Yeah, anyone can join any voice chat and then you can come in. It's a thing that I didn't realize was a thing. Okay, whatever then.
Ah, sorry.
It also keeps people like that out that don't want to actually talk about stuff. But okay, I guess I can go. So, what I personally do, I guess I can talk about like what I personally do, right? Because everybody can give their own perspective. What I personally do is mostly I just I don't keep up with the world. I kind of just do my own thing and look at the stuff that is going to affect me personally, like the people who I would be playing against. Like, because it doesn't affect me if I'm not going to play against top players from other regions. Like, it's very unfeasible for me to try to play against Pempin in like a reasonable way, right? Or even like Komakichi or any of the other players that we played in the exhibition, for instance. Like, those matches were mostly unplayable from like a serious standpoint. So I think that even like to Japan, which is probably our closest region, it's very hard to play them in serious sets. So that's why I kind of don't care about that. If there were plans for me to travel, then I would like invest myself significantly so. But otherwise I kind of just don't really bother. I do watch like Combo Breaker. I do try to keep up with CEO Otaku. Combo Breaker I always watch because it's the biggest major. And this year I even did commentary on it, which I've left unlisted because I didn't ask permission for it. So I felt it was really rude, so I didn't put it out. But outside of watching Combo Breaker, I kind of don't really keep up a lot with the international scene. I'm trying to do it more by actually being a lot more active in the global the two what is it, the Discord servers. The two Discord servers, like the stuff one is pretty inactive nowadays, but the main one is pretty active. So I kind of get to see what other people are talking about. I usually like don't voice my own opinion. I kind of just see what people are saying because I don't know. I just don't feel like talking all that much. But other than that, like I don't usually like lab against stuff that happens in other regions. I kind of just play. I kind of just like look at the stuff that's happening in here and look at that because to me it's more important to focus on our own region instead of the other ones. If especially because we're not going to interact with them. Like, if people from here were going to America, like I would be a lot more interested in trying to lab against American stuff. You know, like I don't know if like Mao, Age, and Jedi were gonna fly out or something. I would be a lot more interested in doing analysis and seeing what the top players are are like specifically doing in a lot of situations, and then I would look at what they were doing. Otherwise, I wouldn't really care. So I'll start doing now.
Yeah, I think I'm the same way with that.
All right.
Yep. All right.
Yep.
D.
Yeah,
We
thank you
have
for
another
moderating that.
C. We have another C, don't we?
Wait, do we?
Kobe.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he pretty much agrees with Jim's.
Alright then. The voice chat is already arranged alphabetically, so don't worry.
Oh wait, is it me?
It is you.
Oh, okay. I don't know a lot about Melee lore, but I mean, I know that for whatever reason, Sweden has 2 top players. And I think in Melee, it's probably harder to get to that high level versus Skullgirls. Which, I don't know, not because I think the game's necessarily, like, harder, but I think the competition and meta has developed a lot more, and execution probably is harder. So I think, like, it's not unreasonable to think that, like, a region like OCE, like a small region, because I don't know how big of a region Sweden actually is, I think it's not unlikely to think that, like, a player from a small region can get to be as good as like an American player, right? Like, I don't know how good Cal Lugon was, but he was pretty good, right? And he was, you know, you don't see that many other players from, you know, South America, or like same with Japan. I don't know how many players apart from Pin are like super powerful, because we don't really see that matchup versus America or anything. Because I would consider America to be like the best region, or at least because they hold all the majors there, and because we see, well, OCE probably has more footage nowadays because we run, you know, TWB, but in terms of, you know, we still run all the big things in America, and most of like the best players, if you were to rank them, is probably like Sonic and then a bunch of other Americans, and Pin is probably up there, but generally it's Americans. But it's like if Pin can do it, I don't think there's anything that's like Japan specific that OCE couldn't do themselves. Like, we're, for our like size, I think we're pretty good. I think we have enough players that specialize in a lot of different characters that would allow us to cover a lot of like the matchups that you would find, right? There's no like big gaps in our character pool apart from maybe like Fukua, which might be problematic for America, but I don't know. I think it's entirely possible to get good and be competitive without playing American players necessarily, if you just watch their footage and play the same characters. But I think part of what Liam was talking about was saying that like we don't try to do the things that American players do. Like, our meta is developed and we stick to our meta, and I think part of what he was suggesting is, should we not like try to implement the American meta and then see how that fares against our meta already? Because, you know, every region is going to have a meta, and I think the meta usually develops around whatever the strong players are doing, right? So like, it's not that, you know, Big Band has won the most, he's been in the most teams that have won Rambats. Doesn't mean that he's a top tier, but our meta is based around Big Band because, you know, the lower level players have to adapt to what the higher level players are doing if they want to get good. And if what the higher level players are doing is beat extend, and what people found to be a counterplay to beat extend is in itself beat extend, then that's how our meta has developed, right? And but that doesn't mean that beat extend is, you know, the best thing. It's just that our meta has become centralized due to our circumstances and like our players, right? So like CM back in the day dominated, and like beat extend was what he thought was the best, and so But in America, they run brass. They don't run big band as much as we do. They run double much more often, and their anchor characters are usually, not even like DP assist as much. So I think OC should try that. I think that'd be interesting to see if we had a player who implemented a lot of like American style play to see how it fared against OCE. But I don't know if anyone would be willing to do that unless they really wanted to like break out of the mold, right? That's about all I have to say. I think it's entirely possible.
I just want to like interrupt real quick, and like I'll see a lot of these like little messages in the chat. I'm not ignoring them, but I think it would be cool for everybody to voice what they're saying, and then we can go back and discuss what they're specifically saying, because I don't want to interrupt that sort of discussion, because I think it's pretty productive and I think it's pretty cool. So like if we can go back and look at the chat at the end of everything.
Yeah, I didn't realize we were doing it person by person, so that's why I interrupted you before.
Okay.
Oh, man.
All good.
Yeah,
So is it alright if I go next to sort of make up missing that? Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Sure. Because I think I'm fairly similar to James in the way that I don't sort of keep up that much with other scenes. I don't think I'm even in the main Discord anymore. But, like... because I'm sort of focused more on, like, personally doing my own thing, kind of very incrementally sort of improving, I guess. And, like, the stuff that does go on, like, in most regions doesn't really affect anything of what I'm doing. But at the same time, I kind of get what Age is saying about sort of spreading everything in a way. Because, like, in a way, the way we're keeping up with the world isn't so much doing what everyone else is doing, but just putting our own stuff out there. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah, I get
my
you.
main thoughts on it.
Who's next? I'm driving, so I can't check.
Neff is
Me, I
next.
think.
It should be CJ or Neffy.
CJ. What do you want your name to be? Starting with a C or with an S?
It's S.
So I guess it means Neffy's first.
So, mainly Drip said most things I wanted to do, but I think I can put names to the concepts. So there's degenerate play, where basically each different community will form their own meta around it, and the best way to play in that meta is in the meta. And so you end up with different communities, basically, not different games, but they're evolving different ways of playing that don't mesh well with outside communities. And there's also, this is a more academic term, but the concept of Nash equilibriums, I think. And that's something about how one person can't change a system by, like, being the best. So even if, say, the US way of playing is the best, if a US player came to Australia, like, they'd still be forced into the meta we have. And vice versa and all. And I think that's basically all I wanted to say.
Cool. Okay, I guess I'll go then. I don't have that much to say. I guess I agree with Aged in that now we're in the age of we have Discord and Twitter and all that stuff. So from like a game knowledge standpoint, we can stay fairly up to date on the game, like, but knowing things about the game, like knowing the game tech and, like, knowing what, like, what's so and so optimal combo from this or that move is not the same as being like a good player. So you can be up to date in some respects but not in others. So, like, if your goal is to have a high level of knowledge, it's just not the same as, like, being able to go to another region and, like, own everyone there. Yeah. With respects to there being a meta here, I think that the level of play is probably not so high that you need an on-meta team to succeed. Like, I played against Nephros, and he plays Val Squiggly, which I think would be considered a pretty fucking weird team for our region. And he plays extremely well with it, and he makes it work. And I think that he would be a really good player here. So I don't think that you actually need to worry so much about the meta, like worrying about having beat extend or anything. I think you should just kind of focus on your own thing and what works for you. Yeah, that's all I have to say at the moment.
Alright, I guess I'll go. The thing is,
The suspense is killing me.
sorry. The way I play fighting games is
I'm spooked right now.
push to talk is a real pain in the ass.
So you were talking without pushing? Or...
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. So basically, what I think is that I have to keep up with the world because that's what my game plan is. Whenever I play, or whenever I see someone do something really cool with a character I play, I copy that, and I try to replicate it in a way that I'll be able to do it. And a lot of people have told me that when I tell them this, they say it reminds them of Kirby from Kirby.
I think that's something that a lot of people do. They'll take things that they like and emulate them. It's not.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Sometimes when you just have a huge cluster of things that aren't your own, sometimes that's not very good. I mean, actually, it's not good a lot of the time. You're also gonna need to learn how to make things on your own, how to lab things out. So in my opinion, while keeping up in with the world's meta, like in Japan, in America, it's always good to know what their meta is. But you also need to keep up with your own meta and what works for you. Because let's be real, if you won't be able to be as comfortable when you're doing someone else's techniques, but you'll feel way more comfortable when you do your own techniques. And that's what I think. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Thank you, Carl, for letting Shuffle in. I didn't see that.
It's alright. All good.
I'm kind of relying on you to getting that sort of stuff done, because I'm here trying to get this truck to Sheffield.
He's crashing the car.
I'm not! It's really
Well,
annoying.
do you have any opinions on this?
Well, you know I do.
Well,
I think,
I'm really upset you really let Shuffle in, Carl.
I'm sorry.
I haven't been drinking, so it's alright.
He made a
That's
he
even
made a puppy
worse.
dog face at me, so I had to let it. He tapped on the glass.
Come on, man. Alright,
That's sad.
alright. Let's shit posting.
Alright, so my idea is similar to CJ's, or I should say opinion, shouldn't I think what hinders our community a lot is the number of players available to play, and also the player level that comes with it. And I think these two are one in the same. Because we just look at what Jedi did. And I think looking at Jedi, he's the kind of person that when he first joined, we just told him, look at the resources, look at what the other people do to learn the game, and then go on from there. And I think, in my opinion, what Jedi did was he did that. He looked at what every other squiggly band player did, but then he also put it into how he wanted to play the game, or how he wanted to play the characters, to make his own way of playing, and also to beat other players. And I don't think many people here do that. See, they just do their own thing and just hope it works out, or just they focus on beating someone, but then they're stuck at going, I don't know how to do that. And I think Jedi found a good balance between looking at other communities for answers and then applying it, but also having his own way of applying it, or his own tech at beating people specifically in this region. But ultimately, we're stuck with this low active player count, which hinders player level, in my opinion. And I think, I don't know what we can do to fix that, because a lot of this year, from what I said last podcast, was to focus on growth and improvement. And I think we definitely got the improvement thing going down, but growth is just a very slow and steady process, really.
and a very unpredictable one at that. I don't know what my own opinion is for myself, because I actually forgot the main Skullgirls Discord existed, because it was at the very bottom of my Discord until I started fixing my folders around, and then I actually joined it through the icon thing that gives you your robles. And I briefed through all of the Fortune stuff, and I've never learnt anything new with Fortune. I feel like I've learnt most of Fortune in my second year of playing her, and I didn't have any real peers or people to look up to. I just watched Skippy McYay's Bible for headless, and for the head-on stuff, I just learned myself. But I'm not that great of a player at the moment. But I think that's more so my lack of playing, really, rather than where I am or what I've learnt. And I don't know what to chalk that up to. I still feel like, because for me, being in a different time zone than everyone else, by the time I want to play the game, most of you are asleep. And most of the time when you lot want to play, like Rambats, for example, 4 p.m., I'm not home. I'm still outside. So for the community issue, I think the main two is just, like I said before, the lack of players. And through the lack of players, we just have this strange power level where there's like these giant gaps. We can probably focus on improving the gap, I suppose. Perhaps we do make this denizen ladder to just go, here's everyone's power levels. And then if there's people way past the gap, maybe we can focus on these people, because through focusing on these people, perhaps we may solve some of these issues our community has with meta. And perhaps we should probably pay attention to what people want to play, because I know a lot of people here don't want to play big band, like Drip, for example, but he doesn't get much success not playing big band, does he? If at all. So that's my 2 cents in this at the moment. I think I don't know what else to think in this particular topic. I have more ideas, but I don't want to derail too much because I tend to go on a huge tangent, especially when uncontested. But
just to contest you, then, how many people are left in the who haven't said anything?
Kado, I think.
Okay.
If Kelly wants to say something, he can.
Kaz hasn't said something and Zug hasn't said anything, I'm pretty sure. Either
I
that
think
or just...
Zug might just be just listening, I'm not sure.
fair.
I'm a bit late, so I might pause this topic just so I don't repeat stuff.
Okay, sure.
Is that it? Is that this is Zug, I guess?
Zug,
I think
I would
it's
like
everyone.
to hear American, but I don't know.
As long as an American, so his opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have a broad opinion, but obviously he doesn't have OCE perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, CM's
because
not all make it safe.
Because Gelado brought up a lot of points, and I kind of wanted to go back to the chat and see what they were saying.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yes,
let's
I
do
think
that. Okay. So, okay, I gotta fucking scroll back up. There's a lot of scrolling, Jesus Christ. So, the first thing Shovel said is a bit about some people do their own thing, some people try to see what they do. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. There are definitely people here that are more involved in the other regions and like the main court, I guess, like trying to gather opinions and trying to see what they could learn from basically like other regions, as opposed to learning from the stale, I guess, sort of stale meta for Oceania or whatever. It's just a matter of different approaches to the game, I guess, like what you're looking for. And I don't think anything is wrong with either one. It just kind of depends on what you are looking for, I guess, and like what answers you want. Because there's a lot of like different perspectives you can find on different things, I guess, you know? So whatever, like if you're thinking like an answer that I could give you about a certain situation could be completely different from like what I don't know, like Wing Zero or Sonic Fox would give you about a certain situation. Also, Sheffield is really close. So if anybody else has anything to say about that, we can jump to the next one. A bunch of messages from Gelada.
No, sounds about good.
Okay.
I think that's a good note to end on for the first stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's see what Gelato has to say.
Okay. So Gelado's main message that he was kind of saying a lot was, I feel like if you guys focus on beating each other, that is a natural road to progression, and you'll get to similar skill levels of the communities. It's not like the world is doing completely alien things. You guys should just focus on beating each other and look to worldwide player for ideas, blah, blah, blah. And, like, you guys have access to and can talk to players worldwide. You just need specific players you need to beat. I agree with this. I kind of want to say my own piece first. I agree with this heavily because, like, it kind of goes back to what I was saying. Like, we don't compete with the other regions, so it's not ultimately that relevant that we, like, don't, like, I am not as good as, like, I can't beat Sonic Fox. Doesn't matter because I'm not going to play Sonic Fox, you know what I mean? Like, it matters if I can't beat Mao, or if I'm going to destroy Age every single time, every time. That sort of stuff is, like, that's more relevant, all things considered. Because it is the direct competition that we face. As opposed to, like, if I was competing in America, it would matter a lot that I couldn't beat Sonic Fox, or I couldn't beat Decult Sage, or any of the 15 players who are really good at this game.
I did have something to say about Gelato's point. I agree for the most part that playing to beat your local rivals is generally the path to get better, but there are specific situations, especially when either a game is new or, like, the people in your scene don't have a lot of knowledge, where just looking at an international scene can give you, like, a piece of information that changes the meta entirely. Like, imagine if most of the people who randomly picked up the game didn't understand push block absolute guard, because it's not an obvious thing. But just imagine, like, it wasn't a video that we could just link to people. We had to explain it each time, and no one really understood it until they'd played for 2 years. Like, it's a big enough thing where if you know about it, you can completely invalidate some people's playstyles. But if you don't, then you're sort of getting better at this imaginary version of Skullgirls where that doesn't exist.
I kind of have a thought on that. Like, kind of reminds me how Brass kind of took off this year, especially with CJ's use of butt Brass. It wasn't a big, like, Brass in general wasn't a big assist here, but then when butt Brass appeared, it started just wiping off a lot of beat extend use.
I just want to quickly interrupt and say I beat Jedi with Bayo Brass before CJ started playing butt Brass. Thank you very much. Put some respect on my goddamn name, alright? Also, this is like a little bit more casual, like we can interrupt each other and stuff. I don't want, because this is like we're discussing a certain point brought up as opposed to like a general topic.
So I want to talk a bit about, like, community size and how little I think that really matters, because a community size, you're still gonna get funneled towards the top, and the real competition, the real drive to improve is at the top. So as long as you have, like, 2 or 3 actually driven people that are the best of the best, then you're still gonna improve forever.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, I think DBFZ has that as well over here. Like, there's not a ton of people that, like, play the game that much anymore, but there's, like, a few, and, like, it's like the adage or whatever, where, like, you only need 2 people for a scene to continue or something. Those 2 people can keep playing each other over and over and over, and they'll get better at, like, general game things the more they do that. And that's also, I think, something that Gelato mentioned, where it doesn't matter that we don't play against Sonic Fox, but, like, we will get to his level, like, by playing and, like, analyzing and improving the way we do. And I think that's, like, important. What I meant specifically was that, like, it doesn't, like, it matters more that I should be able to beat Age or whatever, right? And, like, being able to beat Sonic Fox is not super important when I'm not going to be playing against him. But it doesn't mean, like, what I was trying to say there, it doesn't mean that I can't beat Sonic Fox or that I'm not at his level. It just means more like I am specifically not good against the things that Sonic Fox does, or something like that. I don't know. Like, Sonic Fox is a bad example because everybody's really bad against Sonic Fox stuff, evidently. Also, I need to park this goddamn truck. Quick intermission, question mark? No, not really. Keep going.
Yeah, I think that you're right in that, like, in a pragmatic sense, it matters the most to get good at beating the guy who you're actually going to fight on Friday, rather than, like, trying to approach some like nebulous notion of being a good player in general, such that you would hypothetically do well if you went to another region. But if you're not going to go to another region, like no one here is aspiring to be the next Silent Fox. At least I don't think so. Like we all have lives here, I assume. So it's just not really going to happen. So we should just try and do the best with what we have. And our region isn't that small. It's like we got, if everyone who occasionally played showed up, there would be like 40 people or something, right?
I went through all the people who like went to multiple roundbats and started this year, and the list was way bigger than I thought.
Well, if you look at the seating list, like it's actually really long.
Yeah.
Like we have a lot of occasional players, but only like about 15 real regular players, I think.
Yeah,
Like,
and I think like 15 is like not like a limiting number. You know what I mean?
It's not unworkable. Yeah.
Yeah, because we had like 8 when we really like first started. Like I don't know, 4 years ago. I
I
guess
thought you guys had like 4 or something.
It was down to 4 at some point.
vanilla,
Yeah.
In vanilla, we had me, Folks, Toma, and Dime.
Yeah.
That was it. And CM would like play meme teams at locals, 1 or 2 matches, that sort of. And we still got good enough where we could consistently beat new players, even if they were experienced fighting game players.
Yeah.
I don't know if we would have leveled up continuously, but you can still get good if you're playing people who want to get good.
That is a very good point, in my opinion. If you enjoy improving, you'll improve much more than if you try to improve at something you're not very happy or excited about.
I think it would be nice if we had a bigger matchup spread to work with. Like if everyone was like age and played like 20 different teams.
Yeah, I think the small scene like is only really relevant in terms of matchups. Like we don't play against Pinwheel a lot. We don't play against Fuku a lot. We don't play against Robo a lot either.
We don't have a Bayo train player.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah, like that sort of stuff is like matters. Like I could
think
still
that
I could
stuff
still
is actually
play.
important in terms of the hypothetical. If we visited another region, we would get creamed by that, because that's just something you have to know how to deal with. And if
Yeah.
you don't, you're gonna get
That's what Liam brought up, which was like trying other things. And if you like have the logical conclusion of like a small scene, what you would want to do is have people branch out and try different characters for different matchups. It's
Yeah.
like if you have no Fukua player, someone should just play Fukua and see how good they can be with Fukua and see how that gels with our meta.
I just want to interrupt and say this apparently is alright. Like look at the park. Like this is alright apparently. This is not alright. This is garbage.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
But whatever, I hit
feel
the T
like
button.
we lack specifically Fukua players because like
Yeah.
Edepe, Danny, they just aren't consistent in net play.
now we don't have Sam or Artie. We don't have Penguin like at all.
Recently, I've been trying to mess around.
We
with
have
people.
Shuffle actually. He's like our only Penguin now,
Yeah,
and he doesn't. He ducks too much to be to count either.
Yeah, I guess
Bazinga.
it does suck a bit.
Well, it's not like being mean. It's just he doesn't play that often.
Yeah, no.
Playing Shuffle's Painwheel like is basically a different character to CM's Painwheel, I think.
It is
Yeah,
different.
it's also this like, overall experience and stuff.
But I would like to see some more variety, but like I'm sure if all of us experimented in our free time, we'd be able to discover so much more and be able to grow. That's what I think.
The thing is, I don't really want to play like a bunch of characters. Like I kind of just like the thing that I'm doing. Like,
I mean, that's understandable. I understand that you may not want like to play a lot of characters, but it's just nice.
Variety
to
isn't
switch it up every now and-
always changing character. either.
It's like team order. It's like assists. There's a bunch of stuff you could be doing.
okay, well, I'm doing
Even
that.
just the way you play in match, like the biggest thing I took away from that awesome video by Big Band Pro for Pepsi was that there's characters where you can decide chair off is better or chair on is better, and if you don't try out both in the matchup, then you don't really learn those kind of nuances in just playing one character.
Sorry, what
Like-
was that?
So, just in individual matchups, if you're a one-hit wonder, you play only Bella, there are times where you want to be in the air against some characters, and there are times where you want to abuse run stop, and there are times where you just want to, I don't know, dash block all the time. Like, if you don't try out all these different tools, you don't learn the matchup. And it doesn't have to be, up against this matchup I have to play Squiggly instead. Sometimes it's just I'm using different tools.
So there are multiple avenues within your own character that you can explore rather than having to switch them.
Yeah, like I kind of agree. Like there's a lot of matchups where you have to play a character in a different kind of way to be able to have success. Like there are some matchups where Philia doesn't actually need to go in. It's kind of bonkers, but it happens sometimes.
Same thing
Shouldn't
with
that be
Paintmill,
most of
right?
them?
She doesn't always need to go in, but you can if you wanted to.
Yeah. I'm just trying to keep up with the chats. Sorry. I think like the thing about
done with topic?
I guess I want to mention like a couple things. Like I think even Gelato mentioned, and I think some other people mentioned, it's really possible to get good without playing the meta stuff. Like Squiggly was not meta when Jedi started, and then he just became the best. So like it doesn't really matter at the end of the day what character you play, because the skill gap is really conquerable if you like put in enough work. You just need to be able to do it.
It actually, you could play, as long as your team is not absolute trash, I think you could be number one if you put in the work.
I think even then.
Meta is also descriptive, not prescriptive. Like,
Yeah.
meta's fluid. It really shouldn't matter.
All right.
Finds the meta if you're good.
I wonder
Yeah, like,
how
honestly,
much the new
if a game has
players
a meta-
understand Jedi as a new player coming and toppling people, or
So-
do they only see him as the established?
Yeah, no, that's actually a good point. Yeah,
I
like-
only see Jedi as the establishment.
No, Jedi was I used to destroy Jedi, and now it doesn't happen anymore. I still have that bitterness in me. I hate it.
Yeah, like I think it's probably an important thing for new players to realize that he did like have that period where he was just a new player and completely got wiped, and then added beat extend, and he was top.
It wasn't that like I know the meme, but like it wasn't that quick.
That's all that.
Yeah, no, like I'm just getting at that he showed that the path is still there.
Yeah, no, you can't just. It's still possible to get that much better than everybody else. Still, like you can
did it in
conquer
a
it.
shorter period of time than other players and
Yes.
got to be the best. So
Like
it's
he
it's
got
totally
better
possible.
than like everybody else who had been playing like years above him. You know, like even I was like the person with like the least most experience compared to him, and he still beat me. Like
At least.
later on, like I don't know how to explain it better than that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
do you know what the best part is about Jedi? That I
What?
don't think anyone really talks about.
What?
So you know how I said earlier where he watched others and then made his own stuff?
Yeah.
When he... I know he had people go, why don't you play A-Train with Squiggly if you do this stuff? And
Oh,
he's
yeah,
like,
and
I
he
don't
sucks.
like A-Train.
Yeah.
And he straight out just told people why he didn't like it and why he does beat extend because he likes doing his own stuff. And I think-
yeah, that's another thing I guess like is that you don't need to like I don't want to say it like that. You don't need to blow the other region to be able to like take stuff from them, you know? Like he still played beat extend because he realized that beat extend is still like really good or whatever. Like he thought for himself. He didn't just blind copy paste what anybody else told him, which could be like either us or like the other regions. Like it doesn't really matter. As long as you can like critically think and think about like what options you want to pick, it like that's what it actually matters on.
He's
Yeah,
good
that's what
enough
I
to know
think,
why
um,
beating him is good.
Yeah, I think this is what was mostly Jedi's success because he's a melee player, right? Or was he just Smash in general?
Melee. He like
Melee.
was the best at melee. Like I guess out of
Like-
all of his games.
With melee, you know your options, right? Like you have to know your options. You know when to or how to apply your options. So I guess that was his approach, right? He learned what all the options were, how he wanted to apply it, and then when it came to playing us, the matchups of the players, so he played the player matchup, not just so much the character matchup, but the player. He used the tools that he thought was going to work, and I think that was like a huge success of his part. And I think a lot of people Well, I'm going to assume some of us take that for granted. We don't think about the player matchup all the time. Some people might be too focused on the character itself.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah,
could
it's
be
very-
one thing if anyone relates to that. If you're like, oh yeah, maybe.
That is true. I think
about
I
Alright.
mostly focus on like character matchups rather than
if
the
I
players.
may, one game that I can really compare that to is, as we probably talked about before, Smash Bros. People are so focused on what a character does, and they barely ever focus on what the actual player does, and that's like a very important aspect, isn't it?
Fuck, I almost crashed it, but I saved it. It's all good. What do I do here, though?
But yeah, that is true. I think there's been like some push to focus more on like players rather than characters. Kind of just in general.
Yeah. It kind of makes me a bit annoyed when people undermine the work someone puts into a character just because that character is supposedly, according to the meta, better than everyone else.
Yeah, pretty hard to agree with Gelada. Like, the player decisions, like, matter way more. Like, as long as you have, like, a base... Like, honestly, to be good at Skullgirls, all you want is, like, basic game plan and, like, your post-hit is good. As long as you have a good game plan and your post-hit is good, you can pick whatever characters you want. You can do really well.
Oh, I'm screwed then.
Well, you know, Bazinga, bro.
I think I'm pretty odd in my opinion of the playing the player thing. Like, I've always considered it a bigger prize to find a game-based solution than to find a player-based solution to a matchup.
I actually am pretty similar to you, Agent, that I don't usually care about what the player is doing. I think I mentioned it, like, several times or whatever. Like, I literally don't care what the opponent is doing. Like, I don't care about, like, what the opponent's timing is and what their emotions are and stuff like that. Because ultimately what their game decisions are is the most important thing.
Wasn't there a CM thing where...
CM was the one who wouldn't say that. He was like, I'm all about the player. And I'm like, I literally don't care who the player is.
No. Yeah, he would play the player, but he would force the player into specific places where the characters were weak at, or his character is strong at, as the foundation, right? Like, he was good at forcing you in that situation, then he played you. So
That's
the first
still
part was...
playing the player.
Yeah, so he's like, I know Painwheel is really good against Bella at this particular range at making Bella make this decision. And then once he established that spacing or situation, then he started playing you. That's my opinion on how CM approached it. But I could never really replicate it as much as he did. Perhaps it's like a bit of both is good. Like, you understand the limitations or the strengths of your character, and then once you set up the situation you want, then you start watching for what the player does as a reaction.
Yeah, Drippy, you're trying to say something?
Well, what Shuffle said basically sounds to me like CM was using, gameplay, right? Like, he's doing his game options in such a way that it controls the other player's game options, which is basically, like, I think like player options and game options aren't dichotomous or like mutually exclusive. They're intertwined.
Wait, what did you say, sorry?
Did my mic cut out?
No, I was looking at the road, sorry.
I think the difference might be that when looking for new things to add to his tool set, CM tended to lean towards what things about the player can I learn, rather than what things about the character matchup.
Yeah, I think you can you would consider it like the difference between like a brains player versus like a feel based player in like Street Fighter, right? Where it's like someone can beat you if they just can feel out what you're going to do, whereas a brains based player, like, actually, I don't want to say thinks about it, but like the way they approach it is probably more methodical, and like they are very deliberate with the options they choose at specific spacings.
Yeah. It just depends on I don't know. I actually don't agree with that hot like feels or whatever thing a lot, so I don't have much to say about that actually.
That it exists? You don't agree that it exists?
I think it's
that way?
far more nebulous than that. It's like really hard. At the top level, it's really difficult to say it in certainties. What like whether you should just be a feels player. You need to have all three, obviously.
Yeah,
So this
well,
is
I
like
don't
really
think-
hard to put together.
I don't think any like top player
should we
can
move
like
to the
just
next
play based
topic?
off intuition.
What do you mean? What do you mean by a feels player? Do you mean like trying
Risky,
to
probably,
figure
yeah.
out if the enemy is angry or something, or they had too big of a breakfast this morning, or like what?
I think I think Risky versus Age is a really good example of that, right? Like Risky is what a feels player really is, and Age would be a lot more of a brains player or whatever.
I think it's the opposite, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I find Risky.
I think Risky consciously makes reads. I make unconscious reads.
Hmm.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, it's I guess in the sense of like, how much game knowledge do you use? I guess I didn't want to say me because that would just be facetious as hell. So I don't know. Age was the next best example, but whatever.
I think this might just prove the point that they are like very
Nebulous
nebulous and
concept,
difficult to like just describe, and they both kind of cover similar facets.
Fields are important when you are zoning the neutral advantage. You have to hit them. I agree, but I also think that I actually talked about this yesterday. I think measuring quantitatively what the scenario is while zoning is super duper important to what options they can and cannot pick, and what options they are allowed to pick versus not allowed to pick. So it's really weird. Like I think like, for example, if you block the fireball in Street Fighter, there's very little the opponent can do to stop you from throwing in the fireball because they are stuck in the blockation of the first fireball, right? Like that's like a really basic example. Whereas if you're neutral, then it's a lot more like then it is a lot more feels based. But if you already blocked like a sonic boom, for example, it's you really can't really do anything. I think that you believe zoning can be solved like chess. It kind of, but only in like controlled variables. If you have already like, it can be solved like chess in the sense that like if you already have like the pawns and knights and queens in a certain place or whatever, then you can just this is the best decision, or like this is the best few decisions. But obviously, like getting to the spot is not always easy, and it's not always dictated. Otherwise, matchups would be just math, and you would never win.
Right, fighting games are too dynamic to be solvable because both players can input at the same time.
Yeah, but it's also like if it's like pure neutral, right? Then it's way more different. Yeah.
I'd like to link back to the topic actually in regards to the feels versus brains aspect. Like if you're coming from a small community and you're a feels based player, do you think that's a disadvantage when introducing yourself to a foreign meta? Or do you think it's like it just depends whether you're quick at reaching accurate feelings of players?
I think it just depends on how quick you are.
I think it depends on like what if you understand the overall feelings that are possible in a certain scenario, as opposed to if you're only experienced with one or two or whatever. Like, cause like it's way easier to share tech, but it's way less easy to share fields. You know what I mean? So if in like one spot you're accustomed to feeling out like air throw versus not air throw, or like jump versus no jump, like that is like way more important as opposed to if they are scientifically picking one option or the other, like, and you can like learn like, oh, they're picking this other option, why does this work, blah blah blah, and then like it just works out, I guess. But if you're a fields based player, then it's like it's harder, I guess, because you're not using the game knowledge, you're trying to solve like an unsolved, like an unknown language sort of deal, I guess. I don't know how to really put it. I don't know if that made sense or not, like, at all.
No, I'm pretty sure I made sense of that. I'm just thinking, like, if you were a community where everyone was feels based, like, there'd be no way for you to prepare for
Going to another
a
region.
foreign meta unless you were playing like ranked to practice adapting. But even then, like, if it's here, ranked isn't exactly real.
Yeah, ranked is pretty bogus.
Do you think that like a feels-based player in like a small community would base a lot of their feelings based on their background versus players that are used to playing?
I'd assume
Or
so,
is it-
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, or is it that like switching to another region because they had the characters that you're playing use completely different options, right? Like if like US doesn't use beat extend, they use brass, then what you're feeling out is completely different, right? Because you're not used to feeling out brass, you're used to feeling out beat extend.
Yeah, yeah.
If like I'm wondering if age means the former or the latter, or both, because it could be.
I don't think that is exactly what I mean. I'm thinking more like, apart from individual tools, just having a feeling for the way someone is moving or their rhythm. Like you get a sense when you play someone a lot that you're able to predict when something's going to happen, or you're able to predict, I can select an option now, even if you pick the wrong one. But if you're playing someone who you've never played before, it kind of it removes that base layer of guesswork.
In rhythm aether reading. No, I know what you mean though. Like if you played a person before, you get a feel of like you know their movement, you know what they're either trying to look for, and you just kind of have a good feel of like just their style, because style is like apparent in Skullgirls, and that influences a lot of your decision making, I think.
I think it's less than that. I feel like Pooh Man was a really good example of this, actually, like where people felt like it was really hard to learn like exactly what he was doing, but I felt like a lot of his stuff was actually pretty textbook. But
Pour
like
one out for Pooman, by the way.
yeah,
pour one
pour a
out.
fatty out. My man's is stuck with like degenerative nerve condition or whatever it was.
Something like that, yeah.
Pour a
Feels
fatty
bad.
out. But like I think Risky versus Pooh Man was like a really good example of that sort of stuff, where I feel like I would make like a lot of the decisions that he was making, in like certain situations, but because Risky didn't know, or like Risky didn't associate that Philia with me or whatever, like it was harder for him to realize what I would be doing in a spot, or what Pooh Man would be doing in a spot, and like try to, I don't know if I'm trying to put this properly, but what I'm trying to say is like what the player's like name is can also affect a lot of things, and because you're going to a different region, you automatically associate that sort of thing with like, this is a different person, so they're going to play in a different way, even if they're not actually in a different way. You know what I mean?
Yes, so you can play yourself by assuming that you don't have accurate reads.
Yeah.
It's a small note, but I mentioned in general gameplay on one of those channels. One of the things I find weird about fighting Villy is I'm used to people being in some, like at least in some way, cautious or afraid of me, but Villy doesn't give a care about anything, so I just die.
Yeah.
There's Billy on the ball. Feels bad.
That comes down to like conditioning, which is a big thing in a small community as well, because we play each other so often. We run into like situations where you've played 300 matches and you know this thing is a threat. So even if they're not using that specific thing, you're acting in a way that might be safer against the option you've seen before.
Yeah.
And that means you can get away with sloppier and sloppier resets or options because you're familiar with each other. And so you're trying to outplay the assumptions rather than the actual situation.
Yeah, like I think me versus you yesterday was a pretty good example of that, where I would just do like offense against your air push blocks, and I would know you were just going to do that. Whereas if I played against somebody else who I didn't know how they were playing, I would be like trying to react a lot more and like mess up stuff because of it. Like that sort of stuff is pretty important. I don't know if we have had enough closure on this topic yet, but I do kind of want to move on. Because we have spent about an hour is what the time on this?
Yeah, I think just about.
You're welcome.
Because we started, yeah.
It's decent length.
If anybody has any final comments,
We need to
can
stop
put
using
on-
beat extends. We need to all be playing Anchor Philia.
get fucking cancelled, shit cunt. Anchor Field is actually really good. Like it's not as good as like the really good anchors, I think, but it's actually pretty good, I think.
At
Right.
that point, just play solo.
I don't want to. Sophia's
I mean, Hairball's pretty good.
Hairball is really good. Hairball's legitimately
It's-
really
It
good.
might be worth it just for that. And speaking of which, Drip, you should check out the GULT. I don't know how to pronounce that. The GLLT.
I think
set.
it's Glit. I think it's Glit.
I think no. I asked
That
them today,
pronunciation
it's,
disgusts me. I'm sorry.
Guilt.
I don't, because I told it, I
In my head,
talked to
I've been
them
reading-
and because I talked to them and I thought it was like, hey, guilt, and the other guy, GLLT was like, no, that's not how you say it. It's really annoying. But I was like, I guess,
I asked them today, and they said just say guilt.
yeah,
I've been
because
reading in my
now
head
it's like
guilt.
they don't care.
Someone told me it was fucking jilt.
See, that's what happens when you're like not in the meta. You mess up the name.
Sorry, Age. What set were you talking about? I
He played a set
Guilt has been
against
playing something
Cloud.
else before.
And his team was
Okay.
Fortune, Philia, and I think it was Parasol.
Parasol with
But there
bike,
was a
right?
lot of it was a lot of
Yep.
stuff with Hairball assist that you might find in.
Yeah, Hairball is really good. But
Yeah, I'll have to, that sounds best.
yeah, I think Philia, I think Philia with bike, I think is potentially really good. But I'm not too
Yeah,
sure.
that was looking really cool.
Because it's like tier shot, but you get like a free confirm. You like brain dead free confirm.
It's not like tier shot.
It's not, but it's also like a brain dead confirm if it hits.
And also,
But you don't get the block pressure.
The fact that it's a hit grab is a big deal too against Sun.
Yeah. I guess some closing thoughts on the topic. If you want to, Jesus fucking Christ. I think that if you want to use other resources, I think it depends. The context of the question depends on like whether you want to compete or whether you just want to improve. If you want to compete, then you should look at what other people are doing, and it doesn't matter if you're not going to play them, because you will eventually want to play them. That's the entire point of competition. But if you're just looking to improve, I think looking at the game holistically is really crucial. But it ultimately does not matter all that much, because you really just want to beat the other guy that you're directly playing, because that's like the kind of the motive of improving at a fighting game. And if you want to look at different resources, you can. If you don't want to, that's completely fine.
My final
And-
point will probably be that like if OCE, if like an OCE player wanted to go to something like Combo Breaker, then the ladder of trying to play, like learn how to compete in different metas within our own region would be something that you would want to do. Because
Yeah.
if you're content like just being an OCE and being like, oh, I just want to play Rambats and win and play Australia, New Zealand, that's fine. And I think the former just playing to learn, because you're already in the meta, right? But if you want to play US, you would have to at least try to apply and learn that meta.
Yeah. Or like learn what the top players are doing and all that sort of stuff. Either
Which
way,
is what,
we have
like, I think-
gone really
no
far
one
into
wants to do.
this. The second topic, I gotta go over there and look at it. I gotta change the colors. This is really annoying. That one. And change that one.
What's the next topic? Yeah.
I will just say
I
it. Just,
think it's Rising Stars.
yeah, let me say the whole post. Where is it? Why didn't I pin this? I'm so dumb. Oh, it's in text. What am I doing? CJ said, let's talk about most improved players and who we are looking forward to see play in 2020. I just want to say before we start discussion, do you guys still want to talk about it in like the segmented faction, or do you guys just kind of want to discuss players and talk about like that in like a group form?
I think we should talk about it in a group form because we can. I think this is something we should all share our opinions on at once. That's
Sure.
what I think.
Let's just pick a player and then talk about them and then go to the next one.
Yes.
Okay.
Start with Billy. Can we talk about Billy?
Alright, I know, like, since people reacted Villy's name, let's talk about him / her first.
Yeah,
No.
just to Billy. Billy is a they.
Them, right?
Really is a they them, yeah.
Yeah.
Face as fuck.
So you're almost right.
I've got a good feeling when playing the newer players. And Billy, I think if they put more effort into learning to playing the game, because so far they just play Peacock, right? I think I've played Billy for about 200 games for this year since they started playing. Like I just play because
Yeah.
they're up late at night, and I'm like,
I'd probably be the same. I've played a lot of games this Billy.
Funny thing is, I've learned a lot from Billy, and I've been here, I think, longer.
Well, anyway, before I lose my train of thought, Villy is at the stage where they've learned Peacock quite well, but they're not applying other concepts of Skullgirls when playing. So their defense is very predictable, at least when I play them. I played solo, played duo, and played trio against them. Playing solo against Villy is suffering because it's hard to get in on Peacock when they actually understand how to zone you out. But once I switch to an assist, Villy can't really stop me at that point. So coming to 2020, if Villy learns to play more to a point where they can play against assists, so when you add assists to their game plan, I'll be very excited to see how far they go, because I think they learn very quickly. They're a quick learner, and I think they
Yeah, I
play
agree.
very solid. They learn combos pretty quickly as well, given the time that they've been around. But so far, for my experience, they're easily conditioned. Villy's too scared to press buttons once I get rolling, and once I know I have that thing going for me, I just face roll Villy. That's how it feels like at
I
the
think
moment.
And he's also a great person. And
yeah, I literally don't care what kind of a person they are. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's good because no.
So I just look
Shut the
forward to
fuck up,
see
pony
what
furry.
their progress will be in 2020.
me too.
Yeah, I just want to quickly mention, I think like even before Villy like really started competing, they had really good set play. So like not set play, like post hit, like they knew combos, and I like noticed that immediately. Like really good post hit for somebody who was like super new. So I think Demaclio is kind of the same way too, actually, like really good post hit for somebody of their like general skill level. Like not meant to as a shit talk or whatever, but like that's like a trend that I have not noticed. I've generally seen people to have terrible like post hit for what good a player they are. Like that's been a trend for people.
Yeah.
You don't exist in my future, so whatever. But
God.
like that's the sort of thing I like immediately noticed when I started playing, and like even like watching analysis and doing analysis and all that sort of stuff, like that's like the super duper important thing. And I think that's really good because that means the rote learning you need to do in training mode is already done, which is great because I think it's really lame. Again, like moving forward, I pretty much agree with Shuffle on that part. Just need to learn like more Skullgirls things, I guess. But I think they're really good at learning like stuff really quickly. I think I literally said something in a analysis, and like 2 days later, I was seeing that stuff being used, and like people aren't very good at doing that, you know. People generally are really terrible at sort of implementing that new stuff, or for a variety of reasons. Either they don't want to, or they don't understand it, or they don't care.
Yeah.
So I think that sort of stuff is really cool.
I just want to say, like, Villy might be the fastest rising new player we've ever had.
Yeah.
They
Agreed.
like the round bats she started on was week 45, and she's already had a 4th place, and at locals took games from Risky and I think it was Kato.
She
Oh, wow.
beat me at the random teams event.
That's like
That's
insane.
impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty good actually.
Really
I'm
not.
yet
But-
to even make it past 8.
But yeah, the big thing with them is I think 2020 is going to be, can they get over the plateau of I'm basically a decent player at Skullgirls. Can I transition that into I know all the things and can outread people and
Yeah.
make the most of opportunities rather than getting lots of small hits.
Yeah, that's another like I mean air to airs for Peacock are kind of unbased like that because you know you get a jumping heavy punches in air to air, that's all you get. You don't get a full combo out of it or whatever. Adding an assist to that will be scary, but we already have suffered the consequences of telling Jedi what to do, and then he just became the best and farmed everybody.
So whatever you do, don't
Tell Billy to big
about
Phoenix
Phoenix
in.
So
You don't need another one.
How
It
does
is
this
inevitable.
go with the previous topic? Is this really the
This-
best way to go about purposely jimping Oceania?
Can you go back to China, please? I don't care.
Well, don't think of it as us gimping her. We're just, gimping. We're just altering the path of evolution to see if they come up with a better answer.
So Billy has said themselves that they're pretty dedicated
Replacing
to
a-
Soul Peacock. So I don't think that's gonna change.
Well, good luck. I think like the main thing you really want to learn, I guess, really, is just fighting against assists, because as a solo character, you don't have the
yeah.
luxury of just like ignoring assists, whatever. Like
I think
knowing
think
how
the-
to punish assists, knowing the max damage you can get in a certain spot. Because the benefit of solo is you do hit like a truck, and it's Peacock, so Peacock hits like a truck. The truck that is not gonna crash you, by the way, never happening ever again.
Didn't you like rear end a truck that you were following just with?
No, I'm not even memeing. I don't know. No,
You tailgated and then hit them and then bumped back.
no, I didn't. I like brake. I like brake really hard. That's what it was.
Yeah, you braked with other trucks.
I-
brake.
So anyone else who stands out?
Hold on,
Oh,
I actually-
incredibly
I have
small
more.
thing on Billy, but just I
have
played
more
them
thoughts with Billy
a
as
bit
well.
today, and just if you get a happy birthday, uncombo before you do Argus, and then you'll kill them because assists that unscales the assist.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know if Peacock is very good at doing that though.
They weren't doing that, and that's pretty easy to implement.
Is that good with like Peacock? I don't actually know.
Oh, I noticed it when they didn't do they didn't do it when I was in the air, which is like it works 100% of the time if they're in the air before you super.
Okay. Because it just depends on because Argus is not very good at hitting two characters at the same time, right?
Yeah,
It's not
because
about
I think-
hitting two characters at the same time. It's just about letting the assist
uncombo.
comp out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like either way, you're gonna hit both characters, but just you can get more damage on the assist if you uncombo it.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure what the scenario was, so I had a
You're
hard time
somewhat-
visualizing.
You're somewhat at the mercy of what the bullets want to do there.
Yeah. Because it is RNG, bazinga.
I think Kobe will say something.
Yeah, Kobe wants to say something, and I do as well after Kobe.
Yeah, one thing about Billy that I did want to talk about is, while I was trying to do that Scrub Club thing, I was fairly impressed actually with the depth of their notes. Because I think most newer players sort of would come up with, like, really vague sort of trying to figure out, like, supers or just general resets, but their notes are fairly like detailed and focused mostly on like different situations.
That's pretty sick. I
Yeah, I think it was just really
need the
interesting
notes
to
if
see.
I
The only time I had notes were for a different thing, which
I'll see
isn't
if I
really.
can find them actually.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go.
Go ahead.
I think I've probably played Billy the most. I picked up them as a training partner and like a person to teach when they started, and I think, I think part of the reason why Billy is good is because they have a good fighting game mindset. Like, not only are they clearly like the most positive person on the on the server, they also are like a good. They were like a good, pretty like really good Smash 4 player. So they already have like the mindset to get good at something.
Yeah, that's pretty
and
important.
understand fighting games. And I think in general, like they, what was I gonna say? Yeah, like in terms of like general improvement, yeah, they've definitely been like the quickest to improve out of any player I've seen, and it's been really impressive. But the assist, I think like the case study for like Billy struggling versus assists was like me versus them, like Danny Sim, because I literally went like 1 in 4, and then I just added brass, and I don't play big band, and I suck at big band, yet I still won because Billy is like very set in their ways in what they like want to do, and I guess this might be a Smash thing, but like they can adjust well when there's one character on screen. Like they can adjust their play to the point, but when the assist comes in, they haven't planned for that. So their idea functions in a 1v1 scenario, but they don't think about this extra button that exists when you play a team. And I think coming into the next year, I think if they can get good at like assist punishing and just playing around assists more, Peacock, I mean, just by the nature of Peacock, usually if a Peacock projectiles can just tag, like snag, assists, which makes it, kind of pretty potent to fight against, where it's like, oh, L George hit beat extend after it whiffed, that kind of sucks. And I think that would be interesting to see. I think if Billy can get good against punching assists and just playing around them in general, like, that would be a pretty good level up. Although it's kind of a nuanced subject, I suppose. And apart from that, I think I have a bunch of notes versus Billy on like patterns that I've noticed, but the thing is, even within those like patterns that I see them frequently do, Billy seems to just have like good they choose good Peacock options that I don't know how to beat because I haven't labbed it out, and so their like intuition or whatever it is seems just to be strong in general. Where it's like the ideas that they formulate and the way they express it is pretty like well done, especially within the realm of like what a solo Peacock can do. It'd be really scary next
I just want to say my park looks pretty alright.
I just want to know why they've got you parking
In
at
the
an
middle of
angle
the
in
thing.
the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know either. I picked the high.
Over tire trucks.
I don't know. Maybe it's meant to go after somewhere. I don't know. Whatever. I'll take the free XP.
You saying, Kobe?
No, I haven't really said anything.
Okay.
I'd like to
I'd like
talk about
to
some of the
say
other.
something.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I'd like to say something else about Villy too. The first time I ever played against Villy was about last month, when I was just really bored and I wanted to play with someone, and he just so happened to be on. And I just have to say I really enjoy playing against him. He's a great Peacock in my opinion, but my opinion probably doesn't matter since I'm not very good. He's like very open to, I guess, like he's a new player, but he also helps other new players too, which is a nice thing to have in someone. And I just think that I know that he can become like a really amazing player. There's no doubt in my mind at all. And I can't find the words.
No,
I think it's good.
I think we can all agree at this point, like it's basically, we're all in agreement that Billy is at a point where they can really excel coming into next year if they put in the effort.
Yeah, it's just a matter of like
Yeah,
actually doing it, I guess.
I think and just in general, Billy will be really good for the community, both as like a threat as a solo Peacock, but also just like as a positive force in the community.
Yeah.
Now with that said, we
a nice
should probably
point to have.
like think of other players too, because we've been on Billy for quite a long time.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was
Billy's
gonna
definitely
say-
like the outlier.
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily true because this year we've had quite a few people jump up pretty quick. Like Neffy, obviously he's taken most of the year to get where he is now, but he's gone from a pretty new player, not really able to threaten anyone, to being able to take second, and he can threaten top players in terms of taking games from them just about any day. And apart from that, we've also had Pepsi come in with a very quick rise with Baoband. A bit of a volatile character, but beating Mao in a set is nothing to
What the
scoff
fuck?
at. And I think he came third at some point. There was also Poohman, who was here for a few weeks and took out a few top players. So we've definitely had a few surprises in terms of people coming up.
Yeah, no, it's
I
been
think
pretty
Drip as
active.
well
that
almost
way.
counts.
Sorry, what?
I think Drip as well almost counts.
Yeah.
Drip, yeah, I don't include Drip as like a rookie
Yeah.
necessarily, but his rise is also impressive just from like where he was when he came back from hiatus.
Well,
I'm
is
just
the
looking
a big
topic
forward at,
players that have improved a bunch? Sorry, is the topic new players or players who have improved a bunch and will improve a bunch next year?
The
I
second
think
one.
it's players who improve a bunch.
I think the latter, yeah.
Our definition seems to be that a rookie is someone who started this year and is good, right?
Or like people who are like
Right,
who's going to be the Jedi of next year, right? Like who are the candidates to be the Jedi of next year, basically.
Yeah,
TLDR.
okay. Nah, fair enough. That makes sense. Then if he started this year, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, bro.
I guess
Bazinga.
I don't remember. Yeah, I guess when I like first played, I don't remember Neffy, and then I came back and Neffy was there, and
I think
he
Nephew was
ran,
playing Dragon Ball
so-
by the time you like stopped, right? The first time.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I think the fact that Neffy started this year surprised me a lot. So I think Neffy has probably reached higher heights than Billy has so far, which makes sense because they've played for longer. But I think Billy's trajectory of improvement is probably higher.
I
But
think.
I
Sorry,
think-
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you. Oh, yeah. My point was like that's not to discount Neffy's improvement because it's clearly very good, and yeah, like beating Mao in a set in 1 year is really impressive. And like playing a trio, I mean, I'm kind of biased because I'm a dumb solo player, but like being good at a trio is pretty impressive in a year, I think.
Well, like, funny you should say Mao, because Mao's the, I think, only player that I'm confident I will not take a game off if I meet him in bracket.
Yeah, but perhaps he was the one who beat Mel this year.
Oh, my bad. Well, you came second at one point, didn't you, Neffy?
Like, the week before I went away for Christmas.
Yeah. Dope. That's good.
As far as like most improved, I would say either CJ or Neffy for this year. I can't remember if CJ's like getting serious was this year or if it was the start of or the end of last year, but he's definitely leveled up many times.
I definitely remember like CJ. Like when I left, I didn't think of CJ as like I didn't really think of him as much of a player. I just saw him like helping with Rambats and doing stream stuff. And then I came back and I saw him as basically like
He's a top
close
player.
to established player as you can get. Yeah, pretty much. I would agree with that. So that's
I'm not sure how.
and that
Caddy's
hiatus was
been
about a
doing
year.
it.
So
I'm not sure how Caddy's been doing at YSB, but
You've cut out, Kobe.
yeah, cut out.
yeah, I'm not sure how much Caddy's improved at YSB, but I think it's definitely the breakout notable one from the YSB crew, I suppose. I think the two of them probably like each are going to improve a lot.
Was it
But-
was it the beginning of this year that Kadu had a long break, or am I
Yeah. It's like somewhere around there. I
Yeah,
think.
I think he did. But
Because he was getting
has still
pretty
been
good
good at YSB
and then took a long break, but after coming back, he seemed like he's taken the next step to be either a top player or like threatening every.
I think Kadu for a while I considered him to be like very close to like, well, not very close, but like he's like the shoo-in to break into the established players.
yeah. And he hasn't really like gotten that rusty, I don't think.
I mean, he still plays at YSB, so there's that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Often as YSP.
Um,
Is that monthly?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think another thing to mention is actually YSB. Like YSB and like the New South Wales scene in general. I think the fact that you guys have like locals every month is actually incredible for general improvement. Because like offline games are like actually like even if you have this online, which is like the best online ever, it's still nothing for offline games. You know what I mean?
Yeah. is this both motivation to get good and also the fact that you're playing and learning from offline sets?
Yeah,
But-
and also just hanging out with people who play the game. Like that sort of like physical, like social, connection is like really like a big deal. Like you have no
yeah.
idea. The first time I met Mao at like Xmas Damage 2 years ago, like the amount of just like raw sheer fun I had playing him in a first to 50 or whatever in Skullgirls at the Mega Web venue. That was sick. Like it was fun as hell.
Would recommend.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a
MySpace is good.
Yeah,
there was a
I
week
find it cool.
this year. Oh, sorry.
If you can
You
have
go,
one,
Kobe.
I suppose. Oh, no, I was just agreeing very much.
Some months we have 2 monthlies even. We have one in as well as in the city, which is hella good.
Bro, stop flexing,
I was just
alright?
gonna say-
if
I was
you
just gonna
guys
say that, like-
want advantage, I suppose. Like, definitely go to those.
It'd be nice if other regions, if other states rather, had as many locals as we did, but I guess we just
it'd
happen
be
to have the
really
most people.
cool, wouldn't it?
It would be really cool.
It'd be tight.
But it's not my. I don't know. It's up to other people to get going, not me. It's not my
Yeah,
not
pretty
my
much.
job.
I actually think like the topic of locals is really interesting because the week that I felt like I leveled up a lot was the week where I went to Chimps' house like 3 or so times in that 1 week.
Oh yeah.
Just you going to
Uh,
Chimps' house could be the beginning of a local. Like that's how locals literally
the
start.
scene. Yeah, that is our scene.
That is your scene currently, and you have to make it. It's your job
So
to make it
what we're
bigger.
gonna do? All we need to do is just kidnap Mao, and then
Yeah.
we're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. You
Yeah.
just
Get him a
hang
job here.
outside. You hang outside Chimp's house and grab strangers. Invite them in.
I live at the end of a cul-de-sac. It's gonna be pretty hard.
Yeah.
It's like you pull up people like
You
they're
get like a really long grappling hook.
Hey,
Pull them all the way
man,
down to the
right?
grip of the zone.
it's like uphill too. So you like drag,
It's uphill as well. That's funny.
you like drag people
It's
up
really
like the tarmac or whatever.
Yeah.
You're like out
That's
of the way.
hilarious.
Is it right if I bring something up?
Yeah, sure.
You go.
If it's remotely related, then sure. Okay, I guess he doesn't want. Are you not push to talking again?
I think your
I
mic.
hate
Yeah,
this
you might
push.
not be.
Push to talk is so inconvenient on mobile.
Oh, it's you're on mobile. Oh, okay.
Yes, yes. I would
Oh,
use my
you can do
computer,
voice
but it's
activity on mobile.
lagging.
Okay.
So I've been spending most of my month trying to improve. Like not even just month, this year as a whole, but I just couldn't find time anymore to play with you guys, which makes me really sad. I really tried my best to improve, but I can't really improve if I can't play against real people.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
got
just hoping that next year I'll hopefully be able to, I guess, be able to play with you guys more. And that's one of the main reasons I came today, because I want to see how you guys think and how you guys feel about each other too.
Yeah,
Is
same.
it what's actually stopping you from playing?
I'm just really inconsistent with my schedule.
Okay, so it's a schedule thing. I mean, you could be doing more. Unless you literally have no free time, you could be doing more frequent net play things or setting up sets with people in advance. Like there's things you could be doing.
Yeah, and I'm on break, so I'm hopefully gonna be able to join next week.
Okay,
But
cool.
when I'm doing college, I got my schedule, and of course I have a night class.
I think,
On
I
Friday?
think the Denizen format might be
Yes.
good for you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you can just
Janison sounds good for you.
I just like I don't want to talk about it now because we haven't formalized anything. But do note that what we are running this year is not going to be what we are going to be running next year.
Yeah, we were potentially going to change things around.
that's
Can I
neat.
talk about myself for a bit?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Go on ahead.
Blow yourself on me.
So when I started playing the game at the beginning of the year, my uni classes were all in the beginning of the day, and so basically every single time that anyone pinged netplay, I said hi within like 3 seconds.
That shit was hilarious.
God bless. But that's
best.
like quick interrupt. Like something that like every single new player has that in common. Like Pooman is like the only exception. Every single new player who's gotten really good really quickly has grinded the hell out of the game. Like Jedi did that. Jedi would be what Neffy was. Like we'd be in the SG and shitpost channel in Australia or whatever, and he would just be down to play anybody at any time, and he grinded a lot. And like
I think that's
same thing
important.
with like basically everybody else. Like again, Pooman is the only exception because somehow Pooman is just magical or whatever, right?
And it's just like God, yeah.
Yeah.
God.
It didn't play anybody played PSN Netplay apparently. I don't know who they played or whatever. But
yeah, consistent play. You do, yeah, like going briefly back to Niffy. Niffy plays very often, like every day.
yeah.
So like if you just grind the game, if you need to play players often, and you will learn a lot by doing that.
Yeah.
And Puman also had a menacing hello. It was just like hello with a full stop and a capitalization. It was very monk-ass every time I saw it.
What the fuck?
We need to write a creepypasta about Mouse Hello.
Anyway, are we done with the topic of locals? Does anyone
yeah,
want to talk
the
about setting up a
subtopic of
local
locals,
in
yeah.
their state?
Do we have any other rising stars we want to talk about?
That's
I have
probably
a
more important.
sleeper pick. I have a sleeper pick for next year.
Oh yeah.
It might turn out to be nothing, but I think 200% nuclear shows promise.
Okay.
What Demaclean is doing?
I know
think.
who you mean.
No,
Wait.
not Demaculio. I think you misheard.
200% nuclear.
Yes, that
Oh.
guy.
Yeah, I played
don't
them.
think
I play solo
remember
base.
them.
They don't ping people often, but what they do is when I play lobbies versus Villy and often Demaclio, they usually join because I think they're friends. And they have, yeah, I know what age means. I totally get it.
I'm not in this joke. Is this a joke?
It's not a joke.
Okay.
I think he has promise.
No, it's not a joke.
The
Okay.
solo Bayo player.
Yeah,
That's already Monka W, but just play A-Train, I guess. You do it.
I don't think they're playing solo because they love.
Oh,
Solo.
they're like
I think-
starting. Okay.
Yeah, I think they just like. I just
Dude,
playing
Beowulf is like the worst character to play solo. Like it's not even the fact that he's bad solo. He's literally the worst character to play as solo. Because you could like get so much more with an assist.
I don't think I've ever played this guy. Why do you think that he's promising? I mean, I don't doubt you, but
I'll
So,
defend the age, but I think that they have good instincts.
Yeah, good instincts. He's kind of a nut. Hang on, let me see if I wrote note.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Is it just like get up close and just arm super or whatever?
I didn't have any notes on him, unfortunately, but yeah, he's sort of like a nut in the way Pepsi kind of is.
Jedi is
He's
here.
not as consistent or polished as Pepsi can be, but obviously he's very new, so that's something that he can build on. But his post hit is decent for a new player, and his instincts seem good.
Okay.
yeah, that is a sleeper pick.
Yeah, I think literally the first time I saw them like play or whatever was like 2 weeks ago or something. Not even 2 weeks ago, like a week ago.
Yeah, week 51 was his first round bats.
Okay.
Damn. Okay.
That's
Well,
pretty
okay,
based.
I haven't
That's-
seen his round bats.
They've
but
been
I've just played
around
casuals
in
with him.
some way before. If I remember.
Jedi's in general ready to be moved.
Jedi.
Oh, Jedi's here. Hello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll move him.
Oh,
Give me a
okay.
sec.
Kind of don't want to skip topics, but yeah, we'll see how it
Hey,
goes.
Jedi.
Well, no, let's wait. Yeah,
Hi,
where
Jedi.
are we? Where are we in the top?
Hang on, we can't hear him.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, because he's
No. Wait. Let him say it.
Oh,
Oh, wait.
Didn't
we
miss a
should
beat.
Just don't say anything until he says it.
Hey,
Don't
guys.
say anything.
Maybe he's not here.
Wait, really?
Shut up.
Did he just like get moved on like accident or whatever?
I think it's
No.
figuring.
He's here. He's trying to unmute.
Okay, just wait. Don't say anything.
Speaking of, or not speaking of, but while we're here, the Discord channel is frozen on stream.
Oh, is it? Oh, that happens with Discord all the time. It's really fucking annoying.
no, it's moving slightly.
No, he means the text chat one. It happens all the time. I don't know why.
Oh, I see.
That's weird. It works for me. TM.
Is it working on stream?
Yeah, whenever I stream the YSB thing, it's never frozen over.
I don't know why it freezes for me. Is it because I'm in a game?
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know either.
I guess the other person to look forward to might be Roshi, if his net stays semi-player.
Yeah, that's actually I'm kind of looking forward to seeing that. Even though like I can't play Roshi probably ever.
Oh yeah, Roshi to NZ is really bad at the
Yeah,
moment.
it's pretty garbage.
Yeah, I don't know about it.
Oh Jedi's unmuted. Jedi's unmuted.
I
But as far as like skill goes, then certain I think
Rip.
And
if they moved here, then I think
is he not gonna say anything?
oh, he's not in the channel.
He's not on the
ETC.
voice chat again. He
Rip.
Wait,
They're
is he
talking
what?
in text chat. They're talking in text chat.
Oh, okay.
If you refresh, you lose the
Oh
secret.
yeah, that's right. Jedi's whole thing about voice chat is because he uses the web client, so things are terrible.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I use the web client because
Um.
my app client doesn't work with my mic. I don't know why.
should we move to the next topic?
I was just waiting for
don't
like
really
other
think
people
of
to talk
anyone
about.
else.
Otherwise I was gonna bring it up if anybody has any
We
other
didn't
players.
finish.
I don't know if they're coming back ever, but Estelar might have started this year. Actually, no, I think they were around before.
No, they've been around.
No, SLR was here last year too. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think SLR is ever going to take the game very seriously.
Uh,
As someone who talks to SLR a lot,
It's not happening.
it's always going to be like an occasional side game for her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
it
got
seems like
anime converted. I'm very pissed about it actually.
Sucks to be you, brother.
Fucking anime players.
It's pretty bad. What game does she play now?
She plays literally every game to like a certain level.
Okay.
Bam.
Pretty
Like not a
much.
main game, like no main games or anything.
No, not really.
I
Okay.
guess
Like-
Final Fantasy
like
14 the main game.
Final Fantasy, yeah.
Cause I was playing SLR and Netplay and VSev a lot actually. That was pretty fun. Playing her BB Hood. I can't remember now.
BB Hood.
God,
Sick.
BB
Ah,
Hood
yeah,
is
fun.
Sasquatch
Yeah,
is so
she
fun.
plays Baby Hood. Yeah.
It's so fun
I-
beating BB Hood
Hood
with
is my main
Sasquatch.
and that stuff.
She plays Johnny in Exod and
Jedi's in general.
Okay, cool.
Oh, there they are.
It's actually so fun beating
Be
BB
quiet.
Hood.
She plays Melty and
Yeah.
Street Fighter and every game under the sun. Tekken.
Okay.
Do they play Heroes of Time?
Yes, she has played.
What?
She has played Soku before. She plays Mei-Ling in Soku.
Hello.
Can anyone hear me?
Hey!
Okay.
God bless.
Welcome.
Hi, Joe.
Sup, G?
We missed you.
Have you been?
Is it his birthday?
No, he said,
I said,
"How have you been?"
Oh, Ramon Monet.
Congratulations to whenever your birthday was.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get another? Can you guys hear me? Cause I can't hear him.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Oh.
What?
It's all good.
I just wasn't sure if you were
Yeah,
saying
we can hear
anything.
you now.
As soon as I like connected and people could hear me, I like put the mic down to, or I went off to close my door. So anything that was said after that, I did not hear.
Okay, whatever.
Why'd you ask?
Really
What?
derailed. We should try to
I'll take it
find a
back
spot
then.
to get
Yeah.
back on.
I was gonna say like other new players. Like if anybody has anybody else, I can start talking. If nobody has anything else.
I'm
I
out
don't
of
think we
it.
have anyone else yet.
All right.
No new?
I wouldn't want to leave it out, but Pepsi did actually get pretty good this year.
We did mention Pepsi at least once.
We just said that Pepsi got good.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's about it.
Is he going to come back to playing regularly? Do you think?
They've been attending locals.
I hope so because Pepsi is good and like I think it would be good to have a Bayo train player.
I think
He's a
Pepsi.
Bayo Bros.
Yeah, Bayo Bros.
Yeah.
Pepsi's playing Exod for a bit.
Hmm.
Yeah, stupid.
So it hasn't been focusing on Skullgirls as much.
Bleh.
Playing Potemkin.
Zombie
Rip.
Xrd stuff. I'm sure.
Sounds like some risky dark magic to me.
No.
Once Guilty as Strive comes out and sucks ass, then they'll come back to Skullgirls.
Or they'll
Uh,
just sit on
Sounds
XR.
about right.
I
Alright.
hope,
Wait, what?
Alright. Yeah, I think that's all the ideas I have for like rookies and new players. So
I don't think Drip doesn't count as a new player because last year he didn't do shit. So I'll put my name forth and say Drip is actually pretty alright. Considering,
Also, Drip hasn't really impressed me that much, so yeah.
That's nice.
Wait, what'd you say, Shuffle?
I said Drip hasn't impressed me that much, so yeah.
Alright.
Rude.
That's enough.
You know, I feel it. I feel it.
It's just that, like, I don't know. He was the first person who like told stuff and like didn't care about telling him too much. That's a really, really refreshing feeling, and you guys have no idea how good it feels. To just be able to game like info dump people and then not feel like they're just gonna quit. That's great. That's the main thing I gotta say. Other than that, like the standard really good improvement stuff that we've seen from a ton of new players here. The only thing you really need to do more is like actually watch your matches, because I think if you watch your matches, there are a lot of patterns that you will see, especially in the games that we played. Like whenever, like literally watch a game where I like stomp you, and you will see a pattern in every single one of those games. I'm not gonna say what it is because I want you to figure it out.
I'm curious as to what Shuffle has to say about me, if he wants to.
Oh, it's the same thing as what Jim said. You need to watch your replays so you can then see from another perspective of how you play and how the opponent plays, because so far I can just do the same shit and I face roll you. And the only time you've ever taken games off me was when the stars aligned and you actually did proper resets.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I'm gonna think that Shuffle's gonna crouch block because I don't know, some dark magic in your head, and then it works.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that hit me, shit, because I was expecting some
Okay.
jank reset that you do. If you watch your replays, things will make more sense, because then you have another perspective of why you got hit, how you got a hit, and then you can start going off there to think about your game plan and your approach for future games.
Yeah, like I think you have good improvement when other people tell you stuff, but you're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? You're like approaching the level where like people can't just tell you stuff anymore, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I need to watch my VODs, and I also need to get Windows so I can like watch my replays. For real.
Yeah, Windows. The first step to becoming a pro Skullgirls player. Install Windows.
I mean,
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
you can
that's a
probably
big
just
problem for
do
me.
screen capture.
Yeah, I need
Wait,
to
so
do screen capture more.
I forget. Does Mac like take replays but can't play them?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah. So
So
could
I
you like
think I need to.
stupid.
could you like run the game under Wine or something and get it to work?
But I mean,
You
I think it would just be easier just
Like,
to
because
screen capture.
it doesn't matter if it's laggy or whatever, because you'd be playing the replays only.
Yeah.
I don't know, does the game work in
Like-
line?
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure.
don't think you can run
I don't
Steam games online.
I think I need to shut down these Zoomers for being so spoiled, because back in the day, I had to play Vanilla Skullgirls and set my laptop on a chair with the webcam facing the TV and record that way.
to record
And
the
we didn't
PS3
have-
games. Dude, you had to play PS3. That's actually fucked as hell.
I had Xbox.
Oh, okay, that's
and
even worse.
The training mode didn't have like
Save state.
dummy settings or anything, so I had to test things by controlling with my foot on one pad.
God bless James Chan, bro.
Even that.
So get good. Get
That's
good.
Had to go uphill both ways in the snow to his Skullgirls.
No, like people like side note, like not side note, a side note. People don't know like Skullgirls was trash when it came out. Like it didn't have like move lists. Dummy recording didn't work. GGPO was broken. A lot of things about the game were really bad.
That's funny.
What is
Okay,
it
I
with
think-
Mike Z and move lists? Because like Indivisible doesn't have it either.
He's
Yeah,
a
but
boomer, bro.
Indivisible is like a baby game. It only has like 3 moves.
But what does he have against move lists?
I don't know. He just didn't have time to make it, I guess.
I don't know.
It's like the effort to effect ratio, because they're like spending time on UI and stuff.
Yeah.
When people could just look it up on a wiki.
That's true.
Yeah, and
Like,
and the game
I
was
don't
already
necessarily
delayed.
agree with it, but that's sort of the logic he said back when Skullgirls was coming.
Yeah, he was like, I could like get like something like I could get lobbies done or I could get move list done. And it's like I get it, like
Yeah.
it's what it is. So
Okay.
But-
I think next year I'm gonna do a lot of VOD reviews then. I think both Chimps and Chef will make good points about what I'm good at and bad at. So, you know. I'm
yeah.
gonna beat all of you in 2020. It's gonna be dope.
Alright, bro. Keep it in your pants, alright? But I think that's about it for this topic. We're gonna start moving to the next one, which is something I don't have anything to say about, actually. I'm just gonna shut up and drive then, huh?
Alright, what's the next topic?
Let me change the thing. I'm gonna change the thing.
Oh, he's got a fancy thing.
I have to change the colors, bro.
It's not a fancy thing. He's changing something from green to white and another thing from white to green.
Stop ruining my magic!
Fancy to me.
Shut the fuck up!
Also, spaces in that font are way too fucking long.
Yeah.
Now that you mention that, that's horrifying.
You can actually, what I did for the YSB stream is I pasted the, like, 1/2 space character
Oh, really?
in between each word, yeah, just to make it look not shit.
Okay. Whatever.
Yeah,
so
it
let me
sucks.
read the thing. Okay. Kedril, I have no idea who this person is. But apparently let's do it for new bets, so and also go to Padder is already cancelled.
Read the thing.
Shut up. How do you appeal the game to newcomers and grow the community? As a new player myself, I think this would be interesting. I'm trying to get my friends to buy the game too. I literally have nothing to say about this topic, so I'm just gonna drive.
May I talk about this one? Because I actually have been spreading the game to a lot of my classmates and friends.
Go nuts,
Okay.
brother.
With how much success?
I got 5 people to download the game, 3 people to...
Hell yeah. I think you've cut out though.
5 people
Press the
got the
button.
game, 3 people think it's interesting, 1 person is thinking about downloading it.
Okay. Alright, that seems like a reasonable turnout.
Alright, so basically the best way to get people to try a game is to make it accessible. Does that make sense?
Well,
Because the
in
thing
what
is,
way?
Alright, so when you want to make someone try a game, you're gonna want to make them feel involved. So on the last day of school, I brought my laptop and my Switch. I got Skullgirls on the Switch at that time. So I then set it up in the library, and I got my friends and their friends and their friends' friends to try out Skullgirls. And I made sure that they all knew what to do. You have to don't hold their hand, but push them in the right direction to the point where they'll have fun. And in my opinion, it looked like everyone was having fun. And if they're having fun, that's the best way to get someone into a game. So that's how I got the 5 people to get the game, the 3 people to get interested, and 1 person's might download it.
I think the problem fundamentally with fighting games, and especially a game like Skullgirls, is that if someone's better than you, and like what you perceive to be fun has to be losing and learning, because that's just the nature of fighting games. Which is why someone who has like a strong resilience, I feel like if you don't come into it with a strong resilience, it is going to be very difficult to build a strong resilience quickly to that kind of thing. Especially if you're a typical gamer with like no self-confidence or skill at anything. But wow.
It's not just
Couldn't be me, bro.
So this also comes back into something that I was going to say before but decided to wait until now, is that a lower player count also does hurt new player experience a lot, because it doesn't hurt competition at the top, but it certainly throttles people from getting there because there's no ladder up. You just have to be okay with like getting 20-0'd 20 times until you stop doing that, because there's no people to rise up with.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I don't consider like SGOC to have a ladder, or like what we have is 3 rungs that are very like spaced out and 3 like discrete skill groups. We have like the people who are like new to the game, people who have not broken into established players, and then like the high level established players. And getting from like new player to like mid level, I think just takes like time and like a little bit of mental resilience, and then getting into mid level to established player is like, I think once you're into the mid level, that is like kind of that's a good place to be, because you're proving that you can stick with the game. but it's also like I think the hardest part because you have to really be able to. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect where it's like you're going to be learning more, and it's going to be more and more of a burden to like understand how to get to that high established player level.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that we didn't have back in the dark days or whatever. I don't want to call it dark days, but like in the Skulls and Shitpost channel, we really didn't have any we didn't have any other new players. So the only exposure a new player would have is like, hey, CM is online, let me play him. Oh no. Or hey, Fruit is online, let me play him. Oh no. Or like Chimps is online. Hey, I got 1 win. Oh shit, etc. Age wasn't around at that time. What? Shut up.
That's a really good point, and I think it's something that we had like for a few times in kind of the history of the community. Like back before PC, it was sort of like that where if you wanted to have anyone try out, it was just playing people who've been playing the whole time versus day one, and they're not going to have a good time. And then we had kind of a good period as PC started where a bunch of people got invited into the Steam group so they could play other new people. And then when that died down, there was that period with just the 5 or so of you guys with CM. And that would have been tough for new players to come in as well. But I think as long as we've got this critical mass of new players, the experience should be a bit easy. And I think New Bets is definitely helping with that.
Yeah, like I think this is easily the best time to get into Skullgirls as somebody from Oceania. Like as far as terms of like, there's so many people to play, so many different play styles. And I'm saying that, like, obviously, like, people brag on that, like, here. But, like, you have no idea how it was trying to play, like, when you started out. Like, when I started playing, the only people who I could really play was, like, CM and, like, Fruit and, like, Tomo. And even Tomo was, like, phasing out. Ash was pretty much not playing. Age was not in the Steam chat for some reason. I don't really know. And yeah, like I had to play CM and Fruit like every day, and it was really annoying. Like Smokey would play sometimes, but that's about it. Like, and they both were really good, and I was really not good. So stuff like that, I think. Sorry, what?
I was just gonna say, whilst we do have skill gaps, we definitely have a better spread of like player skill than we used to.
Yeah.
And we've had like a lot more, like specifically this year, we've had a lot more new people come into the game. And
yeah.
I think more people sticking with the game than what I remember from when I first started. I was like one of the only new people that was in for like a long time.
Yeah, and I think that's literally because there's other new players for people to play against, you know?
Yeah.
Like the days of like trying to weed out new players is long gone. We don't need to do that anymore. Like people will stay, people will stay or they will not stay, and it's like entirely not contingent on whether a top player played them. Like we don't need to play somebody who's new, you know?
Yes.
As opposed to like back in the day where if somebody asked like, hey, it's my first time playing Skullgirls, I want to play somebody, the only people who could respond were people who had played for 5 years, and they would destroy him inevitably.
Yeah, that was the CM survival of the fittest sort of idea, right? We had these new players come in, and it's like, okay, here's the resources, good luck. And they're like, but is there anyone in my power, like, you know, skill level? No. Good luck.
It's not even that like it was a philosophy. It was just like the nature, like it just happened to be that way. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, so it's good to join now as opposed to what it used to be, because I don't think many people could take playing against players that were just that good. They couldn't even really learn anything. They just learned how they got beaten, and
yeah,
fun time to be alive.
With that in mind, as a way of getting new players in, do you think maybe focusing on bringing a group of people rather than individuals might be the way to go?
I think it used to be more important. Nowadays, not so much. Like back when Shuffle was doing the Reddit thing, sharing the Discord everywhere, it was like super important that we got like 5 or so people in at the same time. Like I think like around that same time, I remember like people like Kobe, I don't know if Jedi really counted around then. I don't think so. Like Kobe,
Hey, what is
CJ, Kedu, like they all sort of joined at the same time, right?
There was like that cohort, which is CJ, me, Kobe, Busy, Danny Koo,
Yeah, yeah.
Cynthia.
Yeah, it was a
There
pretty big
was a
influx
bunch
at that time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that like big batch was like really important because you all like played each other or like could play each other, and like it kept you from. I don't want to say shielded you or whatever, but it's like that's like the best way I can really put it. Is it
I
shielded
know
you
it-
from just getting beat up by
It
top
sheltered
players?
us while we grew up.
Yeah,
It kind of made the community step from being like a 10-person thing into an actual community.
yeah.
I think an interesting facet is actually like new people coming in around the same time. You can let them like obviously playing against people your skill level is good, but I think to be more specific, I think it's enjoyable to have people where it feels like you have like a competition and rivalry and you build off of each other in the same way that at a high level the players build off of their high level ideas. At a low level you build off of low level ideas versus if a low skilled player versus a high skilled player, you're just trying to build up your strategy to get to their level, which is so far above yours, which is a less natural process of like learning, in my opinion. It is a way to learn, but I don't know if it's like the best way to learn
So
necessarily.
when I was learning like fundamentals of fighting games last year with Dragon Ball, I found that like
Mhm.
playing against people better than me was the only way I could practice defense, and playing against people the same or worse than me was the only way I could practice offense. So I think that you build different skills, but that's not to say that like either is not useful.
I think now that you mention it, I would agree with that because I remember playing Age a lot before my hiatus, and that helped me a lot with my defense because he was playing Eliza Robo at the time. With being, I had to figure out my defensive options before I could even get a touch, and yeah, because if you're, I agree with that.
And that comes with like changing your mental framework so that your win condition is blocking something, not winning or not even getting a hit. And I think that's probably the most important lesson that I don't really see that much being said. It's like intuitive that like we all know it, but I don't think I've said to a new person. But you have to change your idea of what a victory in a set against an experienced player is.
I mean, saying your goal should be learning is pretty broad, and there are like much better things you can say to be more specific.
Well, it's just your goal should be learning, but if I'm against someone that it's hopeless to win, then my goal is to block.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
It's definitely a good thing to implement, but if you're trying to help a new player, it is kind of hard to either convince them or explain the concept.
Yeah, like I think there's a lot of people, like I think that chronic person or whatever, like that's literally the same problem we had. Like trying to explain that we are that much better than you, like it won't be fun to try to win, so you should learn to like learn, I guess. Like learning to learn is such a difficult concept to explain to new players. But it's like everybody who got good like had to internalize that.
One thing I'm curious about discussing is like the idea of like hand holding versus like kind of tough love when teaching players, and I'm not sure because I think I've been as of recent pretty hands on with a lot of new players, but I've also been like very like hand holdy, I would say, and not like dumping like here's what you need to learn, come back to me once you've done that. I've been pretty like, oh, we can play some casuals, we can play some games, I'll try to explain things during the sets, but it's very like mentally taxing for me to do.
I think it depends on the individual personality. Some people do respond well to negative stimulus where it tells them, yes, I need to change something, and then they can ask you, what do I need to change? And that's like a simple pathway. Some people, if they get negative, like if they just constantly get beaten up, it makes them emotionally negative as well, and it doesn't really provide the pathway to getting better for those people. My tendency is that I'll give like feedback on a set where I try to have like a specific thing that they can either implement or cut down on, so that they have that like adjusted win condition for next time if that's how they want to do it. But like I'm not as invested in making sure individuals get good as I was back in the day, because we do have a fair few people to work with each other now.
I'm pretty much in the same boat as H on that one. Like, there would be a lot more people that, like, I would try to coach. Like, I think 2018 was, like, a lot of me just coaching, like, Busy and Kadu. And now I just wouldn't care. It's like, whatever, people can figure it out. They can play other people who can help them figure it out. As opposed to, like, yeah, I have to teach this guy. Sorry, what?
Privilege of having a bigger community, do you think? That it's okay if we just don't be hands-on with people, because if they do or don't join our community, we still have lots of players?
Yeah, like, I think it doesn't matter that, like, one person doesn't stick around anymore, you know? As opposed to back then where, like, one person doesn't stick around, that's, like, 20% of the current play base.
I just thought of something.
What?
You know the scene in Cars where, like, the guy is, like, driving through that town the first time and all the freaking, like, people, like, coming up to him and say, like, hey, do you want to come to my thing? And, like...
Don't shut up.
By that guy, do you mean Lightning McQueen?
That's basically...
No! Lightning McQueen was the guy being told.
No, it was a scene. It wasn't Lightning McQueen. It was like.
Oh no! I remember. Yeah, they're like two tourists or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, the tourists.
Yeah, they were just driving through, and like.
You wanna play some Skullgirls?
Yeah. I'd like
What's
to.
this called?
I need to improve.
All right.
Yeah, no, that's funny.
Sorry, what was that?
So I was just talking about how there's a scene in the movie Cars. Have you seen the movie Cars?
Yeah.
Yes. Most of
You know, there's a part where there are like there's two cars who are just like driving through the town, and like every single person in the town like tries to come up to them and be excessively nice to them, to like get them to stay.
Buy stuff.
Ooh, look at that park, baby! Look at that park! Holy moly!
Yeah, I remember that scene.
Look at
So
that.
yeah, that was based off week 1 PC Skullgirls, I believe.
True.
Yeah.
This
That's
is sick.
fantastic.
Hey, can I, Mike, see this for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
You could say Cars was a character-driven movie.
Fuck off.
Wow. Jedi really liked it.
That's fantastic.
Fuck off.
Okay,
Oh, I'm
that
level
was-
24 now? Sick.
That was really.
This is good.
We caught him in his weak spot or something.
Bros.
That was a
Like, God
fantastic joke.
God damn, it was not. You should
Okay.
not praise his joke.
Alright. So
How
I
do
need
you
you guys to tell me which one I should level up. I have a bunch
What
of things I can
What are
level
the
up here.
options?
Fragile
have-
cargo, because it needs to survive your crashes.
I think
Eco driving. We gotta save. Yeah, eco driving. Gotta save the
I
environment.
think you should upgrade just in time. That's what I think.
Just in time? Oh, that's the one that's left, right? So I guess it makes
Yeah.
like sense. What was the benefit? Okay.
I thought fragile cargo could mean like...
No, I've like unlocked fragile cargo. I just the more points I put into it, the more money I get for delivering high value
Oh,
or fragile.
In that
whatever.
case, you should probably increase high value then.
Yeah.
No, I want to see you incentivize to deliver more fragile stuff. It'll be funny.
Yeah, crash the car with it.
You don't.
I won't crash the car.
Crash
I like the
truck with
idea
a
that like.
container full
I like
of
the idea
stuff.
that upgrading your fragile cargo just makes it like less fragile somehow, as if it being in a crash would change anything.
Like, imagine someone throwing China into a wall and it just doesn't break.
Alright, so which one do I pick? I'm gonna pick
You should
just in
probably-
time. 'cause
Fragile.
it's...
I think you should pick
On an
either
eco
high
drive
value or
to save the
fragile.
planet.
Wait,
I
what?
think you should pick high value or fragile.
You have to protect the planet. Eco driving.
Shuffle got me.
Come on, let's go shuffle. Let's go shuffle.
Shuffle got me. I save up to 25% of fuel saved when driving with trailer or driving free. Okay.
So, yeah.
That's
Okay.
it.
We need to get off this talk and get back to the podcast.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was just trying to get
there's-
that I don't care
Oh.
anymore. Yeah, let's go.
Maxing. We're busy min-maxing Euro Truck. It's very, very, very important.
It is.
So I think generally when we've been talking about new players so far, we've been talking about people new to fighting games in general, but there's also people who are experienced in fighting games but are just new to Skullgirls. And I don't have like any place to lead this conversation, but that's just something we haven't talked about.
That is pretty important,
I do-
yeah. I think
what you do is you go into other communities, especially with new games in IPs that have history, and then you say that new game is shit, and then you say
play Skullgirls.
well, once they're extremely frustrated with that game, just point out all the flaws you can, and then subtly link our Discord.
Yeah.
And but big.
It must suck that you have rollback netcode in OCE. Man, that must be really bad.
You mean delay based?
You mean delay?
Delay based. Oh man, that must.
Burn the
Man, I
synonym.
sure hate that delay based netcode. I wonder what I could do about
If
it.
only there was a game.
They didn't have
Yeah,
it.
if only there
Oh,
was
you
a
mean
game.
Fight of Animals?
Oh man.
Oh, I've heard of Fight of Animals. It sounds like a good game.
You know a game that has rollback? You know a game that has rollback?
Overlap.
No. I was gonna make the same joke.
Strictly Fighter 5?
Skullgirls?
I was gonna say TF2. I don't know.
All right, bro.
You literally made the joke of Overwatch. I couldn't make it anymore. Oh fuck. Okay, easy.
I mean, if we look at someone like Billy, Billy has previous fighting game experience, and they got good because they have a good mentality. I think you need to be less hands-on with a fighting game player if they already have a good mentality.
I think there's a converse effect of that where they're like, this new game is shit because it doesn't have the stuff that my old game has. You know?
I guess that's true.
Imagine Skullgirls with items.
I mean, I guess that's just a case of, they just know what kind of game they like, and it sort of like speeds up the process of like figuring out if they want to play it or not.
I personally think Skullgirls with items is pretty good.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
Get cancelled.
Get that out of here.
Get that ass.
But he's
banned.
right.
But either way.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on what kind of person it is. Like, because there are people who started from other fighting games and then played Skullgirls and got really good. There are some people who played other fighting games and based on that, they didn't like that Skullgirls had different stuff in it.
I think it depends on what fighting games you're from, right? Because like I had a background in like Marvel 3, right? Which is obviously very similar to Skullgirls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got people coming in from like anime games like Eunice, and they suddenly have all these mix-ups, and they're like they can't deal with it, man.
Yeah, I think Hybrid is like a really good
Like,
example of that, right?
this is bullshit. I can't.
Yeah.
There's no neutral in this game.
Yeah.
I can't just hit 660
I
as
think-
Lene. Fuck that. Either way.
I mean, I'm the opposite. Skullgirls was my first fighting game, and I think it's kind of difficult to. I think it's to an extent difficult to get into it.
Oh, of course it is. Like it's difficult to get into
because-
any fighting game when you're first learning, but like I would say Skullgirls is on the harder side, especially like compared to modern games, because a lot of modern games are like easier.
Yeah.
Like at the time when it came out, it was probably not as like it's
It-
more normal
Yeah, it's
relative
just
to other things that
it's
existed.
just
But
like it's just really refined as well at this point. You can't like if you wanted to start playing Dragon Ball when Dragon Ball came out, if you wanted to start playing Dragon Ball in 2017 or like 2018, like that's way easier because everybody's starting, everybody sucks, and you can get really good really quickly, as opposed to trying to play Skullgirls in 2018. That's like,
Hi.
oh boy. Yeah, I was trying to make that exact point.
yeah, for sure.
Like that sort of stuff is really important as well.
I think though there are a lot of resources now that it's kind of easy to just kind of get stuck in.
Yeah.
I guess
Like,
that's true.
There's a whole B&B compendium. Like it's super easy to just like grind out a combo and figure it out.
The resources for Skullgirls are quite good. but they're not as good as some other games. And when I say some of the games, I mean particularly Smash.
Yeah.
As like the Smash
That's
wiki
true.
is like extremely comprehensive. It has like details on every single mechanic that you could ever want to know about or not want to know about. And like there's like a million guides. Because I mean, I guess there's like in Smash, there's like people actually trying to like make money off their YouTube channels and stuff, which obviously you could never do for Skullgirls. So there's
Yeah,
more
I
incentive
mean,
to like
it's
put
a
out
big enough
content
game.
for it.
Yeah.
I hard agree with that. Another community that I like that's very comprehensive with how they do their resources is Killer Instinct.
Oh yeah, the KI infill
Oh.
guide. That guide is so
Yeah,
good.
infill.
It's like the
Infill is
single.
great.
It's like the single best like text document guide for any fighting game ever. It's like almost really good. It almost would be the best like resource of all time for any fighting game. But the KOF video is really good too. The video is honestly sick as fuck. That video taught me how to play KOF like in its entirety. I can play any KOF just because I've watched that video. It's sick.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
it's
that
pretty
one
good.
video, that's good.
Sorry, what? Yeah, that's what I thought. Drip. Shut up.
What's that? I just said that KO video was good, and I watched it. And
Okay.
I thought it was cool.
Okay.
Shut up anyway.
What is it? What is it?
How dare you agree with me?
I need to find out what song is at the beginning because it's pretty good.
Oh,
It's probably some KOF song.
some care for
I
me
mean,
song or something.
yeah, obviously it's. I'm assuming it's from KOF.
Dude, SNK music is really good. Like, side note, like, that's SNK music is godlike.
It's really good, dude.
Every single SNK game has like pretty good music. Either way, we're off topic yet again.
Okay, getting
Yeah.
new
It
players.
wasn't
to
my
Skull.
fault this time.
So while I was away, were we talking? Did we talk about how having locals helps new players get into the game?
We did not. That's a good point.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
Well,
I
Cobalt mentioned it in the text chat, so I thought that you guys might be.
Well, we
Yeah,
did.
just because I did.
I'm pretty sure we did talk about that.
Well,
I think
you
we-
should do
We
that.
talked about it some other time, like
think
in
we
the,
talked
in
about
the
it in the previous
earlier
topic.
topic. We can talk about it now because it's important to this one.
Have locals because visibility is good, and people who play other games can see your game and be like, "Oh, I might want to play that game," because that is literally how we have a couple of our players.
I play
Yeah.
Skullgirls because CJ was the only person at YSB to talk to me the first month I was there.
Aww.
The only time I played Skullgirls because I saw a video on YouTube about blockbusters.
Amen, brother. That's a local in it.
Yeah, I guess we just had different experiences there.
But yeah, I think having a local community like that sort of stuff is really important. Because it turns it makes it more of a social experience, especially for people who are just starting out, which is really, really, really important. Like I think it's undeniable the effect that just a big
Good.
server in general has on people wanting to stay in a community.
I think it's good for like community building and like specifically like embedding yourself into the community so that people like know who you are and have a good opinion of you.
Yeah. And, like, you think
Like
of
it-
people as opposed to just like things you want to try to beat and you lose to. Like that sort of stuff is so important.
Yeah. Like I'm a guy that you and Mao know, not just like some stupid kid.
Yeah, you're not some text on the screen. Like that sort of stuff is so like it's crucial.
And I think for new players, knowing that, like, having that feeling of like, oh yeah, I'm like with in this community of other people that can like be cool with me.
Yeah.
is really important.
This guy's really on my. I want to get some fuel, stupid bitch. Can't believe it. Either way, sorry. Hey Tony, I can move you to the chat so you can say your yo. I have been missing it a lot. If Tony can make Tony join general, like, can you do that stuff, CJ?
Okay, I'll do the thing.
Cool. Just make him join general, and then he can come here and he can say the yo. I've been waiting.
I was gonna say, do you think there's like any point in any like way we could get people who don't like? Is there like any consistent way we can get people who don't know about Skullgirls to get vision on Skullgirls, or do you think they already have to have like vision on fighting games in general to be able to
How do you mean?
get? Like, I mean, I don't know if Reddit is like a place to go to get people, but
Just
like
chill
places
Skullgirls
outside of
on
like a local, right? What do you say, Jedi?
People like learn of Skullgirls in so many places, dude. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
People
You
like
know what
people.
we need to do? We need to get the Skullgirls mobile audience.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, hello?
Hello.
I did come from Skullgirls mobile.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yo!
Yo.
Yo. God bless.
So,
The yo
Where
really
I am.
is the can you hear me of Big Tony.
Shut up, Trevor.
so
But he did the "Can you hear me?" before the yo.
Big Tony's yo.
yes, I can
Jedi
hear you.
Links, can you
Yes.
hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
That isn't possible.
I'm very unfamiliar with the names, so I just hope you to be patient because there is like 12 people in this voice chat, and I kind of just know CJ, which is muted.
Don't worry, I exist. I just mute myself most of the time because my keyboard's really loud.
Oh, okay, cool. Alright. So, what was the topic of discussion?
Getting new players into Skullgirls.
Yeah.
Cool. You just you can throw them Skullgirls shaped shurikens at them. That could work. Or like
Is Drip talking? Because I can't hear anything.
yes, I said something and a bunch of people laughed. So yeah. And yeah, the basic things like play the game, show them, show footage of you playing the game, and tell them why it's awesome, and any way they can get the game is very important, because like people are like, oh, but like my PC is trash and I can only play it on Switch, and you just be like, look, if you still have a PS3, you can play on PS3 with people on PS4, and that's a thing. Or like, don't worry, the developer actually plays on a toaster, so on a toaster computer, so it's fine. If you play a PS4, well, you're blessed, and if you play on a Xbox, well, you're kinda cursed, and you kinda deserve it. But I mean, you can still do that. In the meantime, I'm booting up my computer so I can have a better microphone.
Okay. I think putting out footage is an important thing because everyone wanted to be a Third Strike player after they saw Evo Moment 37 and shit.
Actually, I'm probably gonna head out now.
Bye.
Okay,
See ya.
see you that guy.
Nice
Have a good
evening.
day, guys. Happy New Year
okay,
and
cool.
stuff.
Happy New Year.
Oh yeah, Happy New
Yay!
Year.
Yes. So, I also have like, actually, I have a few questions to the OC community and you guys in general, because I follow you weekly and stuff. So I'm glad to be here. And
It's good to have you on.
in advance. So, yeah, the thing that Evo Moment 37 being an example for fighting game players, well, that gave, that's not like, oh damn, I wanna play Third Strike because that's really cool, okay? It's not about Third Strike. It's about the thing that it's a show of skill, okay? So you wanna show what you can do in the game, what the game makes you feel, and because that's what the game is all about. If you feel like a god by mashing beat extend assist, well, that's the game. That's
I know I do.
for you.
Yeah, I think I see what you're
everyone here
saying.
does. Like,
And thank you for putting it in words we can understand.
so like every every fighting game or every video game in general leaves you emotions. Okay, is esoteric feeling that you like enjoy things and you want to share it like a book or a movie or anything. So it's not about, hey, this game has rollback netcode llama xd. Okay, it's not about that because nobody gives a shit. Because if a fighting game is good, people will play it even if it has trash netcode. People been doing that for decades. So like you wanna like have something that is enjoyable as a game, not as like by a feature standpoint, because nobody gives a fuck if a game has no feature or like has trash people, like very bad angry men and yelling each other or like being way too quiet for playing video games. So like I hate that. And Skullgirls just allows so many different people from way different play styles and different things like fighting game mentalities to be expressed to a infinite level. You see what I mean?
I see it.
I see exactly
So
what.
like that's the reason you wanna play Skullgirls. You wanna show people the game because they can like be clean, elegant and precise and super lab monster kind of shit, or like just be turbo gorillas and mash and that speed extend assist like no tomorrow. You see what I mean?
I'd really like you for stop pulling out the
bro.
entire region, bro.
I just threw up a bunch of DualShock 4 on my floor, but that's okay. It gave us the idea. Even better,
So do you think then it would
it's
be
very genuine. So don't do that. PS4 controllers are quite expensive for the most part. So I
Oh,
also
don't
have
worry,
a
mate.
stick.
I'm not a pad pleb.
I also have an arcade stick, which was the device I started to play Skullgirls with, but since my first computer couldn't read my Mad Cat Special Edition Street Fighter 4 arcade stick, I had to go back to pad because that's what I could play on. So now I got my muscle memory on both things, which is very fun because I can show the game to like people that are like, oh, but I don't want to touch a pad. Pad sucks. So I can steal their stick for a minute and show them how to play big band shit, and then they're gonna spend the whole afternoon trying to play Super Mario Death Sound or something. I don't know. So because that actually happened and happens weekly to my Tekken locals. You have all those chats that are like, oh, fighting is all that matters. What are you fighting for? Street Fighter 4 sucks. And now Tekken is coolest shit in the world. And you're like, okay, but I've been playing this game for more than I played Tekken. I mean, seriously. Like Tekken in a serious way. So you should really try this game. It has a lot of technical things, but with a easy execution compared to while standing to PEVGF. Okay, fuck that shit. I spent 1 month trying to do just that, and I still suck a lot. I'm bad at Tekken, that's why I play Clouding. So, if you show people that are really serious about the game, but and for them is like a serious hobby, and they spent too much time and regret the time they lost, so that take everything seriously. And then you show them Skullgirls, they're gonna love mashing notes on big band trumpet, and that's Skullgirls for them. It's just big band. And just like for me, Tekken is just Lemao mash hop kick at -9, because that's how I play Tekken. And I will never be a Tekken competent player, but I don't care. Like, and nobody else care in my Tekken local, but they still wanna see me do well in Skullgirls, because that's the game that I love, and they are, and a few people are actually enjoying the game as well. So back to the first question. How to show people, how to make more people play the game. The reasons why you guys play the game might be the same reason why they should try, or like allow people and let people find their cool thing to do in Skullgirls, or like how is Skullgirls cool to them will make them play the game. Okay, sorry for bad English. I just worked for like 11 hours and I'm up since 1 a.m. So, and it's noon.
Oh, good.
So,
It wasn't bad
I
English.
I think that was quite
My
concise.
English is kind of not there yet, and I should be either eating or sleeping, and I don't know what to do. So, anything else, or can I go start with my
No,
questions?
you ain't going anywhere, Tones. I got a question.
Okay.
How's
Wow.
Skullgirls Italiana going?
Skullgirls Italia is like this tiny little server with less than 100 people that I started like almost 2 years ago or so, or maybe more. Actually, maybe more. And we were just my like team friend list, and we discovered Discord was a thing, and we decided to make it a Discord server, and we actually called people from the European server that so happened to be Italian. I found out like a week after I made the Discord server that there was an old super dead Steam group which was called the Medici Mafia, and I really liked the name. I wanted to keep the name for the new server, but I felt it wasn't really appropriate. But it would have been a really cool idea, like if I have a gaming team for Skullgirls. Yeah, that could be a possibility to include that in the name, because it's in the game, and that's like super meta. I really like it. Ciao.
Yeah, because last year, when I think you were on the podcast last year as well, you were starting up the or rebooting the Skullgirls Italian group.
Io ho bevuto birra.
No, ho usato la crema per le mani.
Stavo bevendo la birra.
No, non è birra.
Ascolta,
One second.
faccio 2 gnocchi giù, andiamo a mangiare giù.
Andiamo a mandare giù.
Dai,
Va bene, va bene.
Quando sono pronti ti devo chiamare.
Ok, grazie.
Grazie.
Ok. Excuse me. My lunch has been decided. So, and yeah, just started the thing, and we gathered the people from the dead Steam group that were still playing, and yeah, I just started this small matchmaking slash gameplay sharing Discord, and we gather up more people as they got interested. Always the main focus was to redirect people in the main European Discord, because that's where people are gonna find most games. So like for matchmaking is a much better solution because you get to play people 24/7, even not Europeans sometimes. So the Italian matchmaking is more like, hey, let's play some casuals and hang around in voice chat, okay, and post memes and shit. It's a very chill and cool group. And now that we are, now that me and Reb, so like very few players that now join offline tournaments. We are getting some newcomers, which are always really welcome, and now we're getting new faces and also new players from the Switch version. And now we're doing this kind of thing where we say, hey, it's really cool that you play on Switch, but nobody has it yet. I don't have a Switch yet, so we can't really play together. So get it on PC. And but we are working like I'm trying to manage the thing of multi-console, which is kind of annoying, but that's a problem for everyone. So I understand that. And my goal for next year and the years to come is to grow the server, get more players, help the intermediate players become more advanced, and always look up for beginners, like be the God-giving hand to the new guys that play solo Val and need to stop mashing buttons. But people are stop mashing buttons, which is cool to my religion of playing the game, like my perception of playing the game. So, and I want to make tournaments in Italy, like offline events. That would be my living dream, because the scene on the other fighting games is quite big, and a lot of people that know the game but don't want to try it is that they already have too much stuff to play, so they kind of don't want to play. They don't want to get into Skullgirls, but I want to show how cool the game is and what it means to me. And my enthusiasm alone already brought so much people to move away from their house, get out of their basement, and start playing and compete offline, which is very cool. I'm proud of it. So yeah, and also we have the best shitpost and meme channel among every SG server.
On that one.
Everyone can feel free to join, but you have to have some knowledge of Italian, and good luck Google translating.
I know enough Italian to get around.
Okay, cool. Wait a second. Now I'm gonna. Can I join? Oh shit! I'm gonna disconnect and reconnect from PC. So pick me up.
Alright,
Okay.
see you then, I suppose.
Oh, that's one
No,
thing
no.
that Tony mentioned, by the way. Do any of us have Switch to
I was just
find
gonna
strong
ask you.
Switch players?
I have Switch and I have online, so I can play.
Because I think that's one avenue we don't actually talk about is the Switch community.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe
no, I'm down
what
to
we
do
could
that.
do, Drip, is if we're playing casuals, we could
Yeah.
set up a lobby on Switch and then wait and see if people
Just let it
jump
run.
in.
Yeah.
The problem is my Switch only has Wi-Fi at the moment. I haven't got a Ethernet cable for it.
I actually don't have an Ethernet cable either, but I'm getting one soon.
I think we also don't have much on like PS4 either. Like it's also
Also, someone
central on
don't
PC.
forget to pick up Tony again whenever his thing works.
He's back in general.
Already, I think, so he might be there. Yeah, he's ready. Yeah, I think Switch is a good avenue, actually.
Okay, cool.
Welcome back.
So I'm back, and I hope you can hear me better.
It's good because it meshes into the Smash community pretty well. Because that would be their main.
What?
Main game. We're talking about Switch right now, Tony.
Oh, okay, cool. So
Yeah,
yeah,
like-
and now I can see who's talking. So
Good.
that's really important.
I mean, you should just know me
Yeah,
from
we're
a
talking about-
voice.
Yeah, I wish I could recognize everyone's voice. So
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Australians
I'm-
all the same.
but yeah,
I just want to say, like, it is starting to get like 3 hours. We are starting to push the time. Do we have any sort of final thoughts on getting new people? Because I think Tony's sort of summary was really good. But like, if anybody else wants to say other stuff, we can start to the final
Well,
topic.
that's where I was.
I also wanna like ask who are the better, like I already asked on the last run, but who's the rookie of the year, and you said like Trip and someone else, I don't remember. So like I would like to hear from those people what kind of advice would you give to people giving advice. So like how can you help me helping you getting better at or like is there something that when you tried to learn the game that you missed and you realized that you had to pick up on your own that nobody ever told to? Even
Advice
gameplay-
for. Sorry, go ahead.
Even gameplay wise, or like as a fighting game player growth in general.
I think as somebody who wants to teach new players, the first thing you really gotta be aware of is not saying wrong shit. Like,
yes, fuck misinformations.
It's
yes,
actually
very right.
It's
very
really terrible for me to see like people talking here or talking in the main chord, and they're just saying wrong things.
main chord.
They just say wrong things, and it's just terrible. Like, it doesn't matter how helpful you are, how nice you are. It literally doesn't matter if you're just saying wrong shit. Like, it's just terrible.
You activated him.
Yes. I'm
It's
fully
a
activated
Gigantamax, Tony.
because it's not a thing about main chord. This thing goes ages beyond that. It goes into the endless beta days. It goes into the Skullheart forum days.
God bless.
Dude, it was so bad.
Yeah, people
It
just
was
said wrong
so
shit
bad.
every day. Like,
to like okay, yeah, sorry, it's not the place and the time to
reminisce
for me to express so violently my thoughts about the topic. But yes, misinformation should be eradicated.
outside of that, honestly, it doesn't matter that much. You can kind of just, as long as your tone isn't vulgar, you can kind of say it however you want. And I think people who want to listen will listen. Like, if you look at like me, when I give advice, I am really blunt, and I don't like try to phrase it really nicely. Like, anybody can tell probably at this point, right? But I think people who still care, like, I think I could tell Billy in the same shitpost manner that I kind of talk nowadays, or I could phrase it really properly. Like, people will not care.
So like, if Disco Kid 96 comes in the OCE Discord and he's like, "Hi, I'm new. How do I beat Eliza?" and you're like, "Just stop up back, Lamau."
It's different, right? Because because the thing is, first of all, like it's such a broad question. You have to be like, okay, how you have to narrow it down. Like beating a matchup isn't just one question, or beating a player or character isn't just one question. Oh my god.
Wow. Why do you say player?
Sorry.
Why do you say player instead of character?
Because
Do you mean that the player makes the character, or is the character making the player?
It's like if you like okay. So your example was somebody comes in and says, "Hey, how do I beat Eliza?" It's like
Yes.
okay, what about Eliza? What about Eliza is giving Mr. Disco Kid 96 a bunch of trouble? It very often is just one move. For somebody, it could be the sewer grab. Like, hey, I don't know how to beat sewer grab, and then the answer is obvious. You just up back it, or like jump and get away from it.
Jump and punch, yeah.
Yeah, like jump and do anything, like and just jump over and avoid it, or do your throw invincible move, but just jump it. It's easy, just hold it forward. And it's like that sort of stuff is what you need people to start thinking about if they want to start getting better at fighting games, because if you keep giving generic advice like, hey, how to beat Eliza, you just give them like 5 things. First of all, like
Yes.
it probably isn't relevant to what they're actually wondering about. Like, if you tell them like, hey, how do you beat Eliza? Hey, you should like poke her hitboxes. It's like, yeah, I don't know about that. I just can't beat the sewer grab. And it's like, okay, then it matters what you want to ask about. And second of all, it like sorry, go ahead.
Are you pro or against people saying, "Oh, you have this specific problem. Why you haven't looked it up yourself already?"
Because people don't know how to lab, it's like really terrible to tell them that if they're like new. If they're like okay, I probably need a name drop to give examples of this. If Drip came up to me,
so before I get too much distracted, let's call this imaginary player Disco Kid 75. Okay, so
okay,
better.
I was gonna
So
say
I
like
don't get
I was literally gonna say like Drip or something. Like if Drip comes up to me and he's like, hey, how do I beat I don't know, Peacock's jumping medium punch, and I'm like, okay, you look at where the hitbox is, you look at where she is, and you look at the recovery, and you try to figure out how to hit it. Like he is at the level where he can figure it out, and I don't need to spell it out for him. Whereas somebody who's like Disco Kid 96, Mr. I don't know how to beat Eliza, he's not gonna know how to figure it out. So that's when you have to explain it to him. Okay, this is how this works. This is what you need to know about this interaction, and then you should like explain to them how to beat it. You know what I mean? Like it's entirely player dependent. Like I don't need to tell Neffy how to beat a command grab, but I will need to tell Disco Kid 96 how to beat a command grab, because that'll be important.
Yeah, and so like, what if Disco Kid finds that in the let's say he goes back to Italy where he was born. Okay. So and in Italy he actually finds that the only Eliza player is just one guy.
Okay.
Who is me with a secondary character. Okay. I don't play Eliza or shit. So his only experience is that my Eliza, and my Eliza is pure trash.
Okay.
I could beat people, but nobody gives a fuck.
Okay.
So he's gonna think that every Eliza is how I play Eliza. So how is he gonna understand that my playstyle doesn't go through the character and vice versa? So like, my playstyle and the character itself are 2 different things.
That's a little bit harder because first of all, let me just
because that's a huge problem for small community games where there are only few people representing characters. So like, you have that one guy who sucks. Okay, who sucks. He doesn't know how to play fighting games. He doesn't know how to play matchups, but he plays, let's say, Robo Fortune. Okay, I don't wanna shame any Robo Fortune players. I'm sorry, but nobody knows how to play against Robo Fortune, and he gets top 8, even by being bad. Okay, so how do you deal with this?
That one is a little bit harder because for the player to understand the problem, they need to like be good at evaluating a player, which a lot of people are really bad at. So it depends on what kind of level they are at, because if they are really bad, it doesn't matter that the Eliza they play against is bad, because they won't just not understand how to beat Eliza anyway. And I think at that point it is not ultimately that relevant that they can't beat a good Eliza, and the only experience they have against Eliza is bad. Once people get good enough to distinguish between like good and bad, they will. You need to either show them that what good Elizas do. Like, okay, if somebody is really good and they can just evaluate for themselves what a good Eliza should do, then your work is already done, and they can just tell that you're not a good Eliza, and it doesn't matter that I can beat you Eliza because and that's not proof of being good against Eliza. But if they're not at that level, but they understand the game decently enough, you can try to explain to them that, okay, what I am doing is not good. What a good Eliza player would do here is different. Or what a really good Eliza player would choose in this sort of spot is completely different. Or they would play this mix-up in a different way. And I don't know if that makes sense or not.
Okay. Yes. So you say that also that video footage of other people playing from other regions, so that people that are unable to play directly the player, is a good way to get information, to learn things.
Yeah,
So
like if you want to see, like if I wanted to see what the best Fuku in the world is doing, I'm not gonna get it here. I'm gonna have to watch Sonic Fox. You know?
yeah,
Like,
makes sense. Okay.
So
yeah,
there's
yeah,
that.
yeah. So, okay, and so they kind of have to just learn from watching it from something else, but the practice standpoint is gonna miss, and that's a problem, because when you are now up against Sonic Fox, you're gonna shit in your pants, because it's like, oh whoa, it's a fox next to me, and it's gonna say hi, and he's gonna mix your shit for 45 seconds. That's his fastest set recorded. So you're just gonna forget what you said in the video, because you never actually played against him. Not against Sonic Fox, but against the Fuku in general. So how do I solve a character not being represented?
Honestly, you can't. That's just the problem. Like, the best thing you can do is try to provide them with general Fukua stuff, and then try to explain to them that good Fukuas would like do better stuff than you, or good Fukuas would have better set play than you. So it's a difficult problem to fix.
Would you think that expert players would for teaching reasonings would have to pocket every character, so that they could give a taste of what the character is against, or how to teach people better? Because
it depends on what you're looking for, I guess. Like, if you have like Mr. New Player, what was it, Disco Kid or something?
Disco Kid,
yeah. So Disco Kid, I don't think Disco Kid needs to know what a good Fortune or Eliza play is like, because they have so much else to work on in the first place. It depends more on like Reb, for instance. If Reb wants to go to America and wants to play against good Fukuas, then that's something that Reb will have to deal with. Or if you want to go to America and you want to deal with good Fukuas, that's something you will have to deal with by yourself. And that sort of stuff is like, you have to learn to analyze what good Fukuas can be doing. And then after that, it's like, if you are bad at playing in the moment, then that's just another fighting game skill you have to learn. It's not very easily solvable, and that's kind of the problem with like a small scene. You have to be really good at dissecting the game and trying to self-analyze, and have really good discipline, so that when you are in an unfamiliar spot, you can recollect based on knowledge and not intuition or muscle memory that what you should be doing in a certain spot.
Okay. Wow. That's very interesting.
It's something that I had to deal with a lot in what's his name? Like that sort of stuff that you have to learn in Tekken, for instance. Like in Tekken, you're not going to play against every character because there's just too many characters. So what you can do is you can just learn the strings. You can know the basic frame data, and then after that, you just have to be like, okay, I know what this is. This is not magic. This is not mystery. I know what this is, and I can just execute what the counter is. If you've practiced it, if you practice the counter in training mode, then that's also really important. Against like learning to deal with stuff. Like ultimately, you will need to practice something, but you can practice in training mode. Training mode in Skullgirls is very good, so you can practice defending
Yes.
against basic stuff.
Yes, fighting games is a lot about timing more than exact answer to exact question.
Yeah, like you need to learn how to do the counter you want.
I mean, it's not about countering much because my Tekken sensei, who lives at 10 minutes away from me, which I'm blessed because he just moved to my city like 2 months ago, and I discovered he was a very well-known player. So I'm like every 2 times per week I am at his place.
Which player is it, by the way? Which player is it?
Uh,
I might know.
You might not know it, Andreville.
That's a newer player than what I know. I was thinking like, I don't know, you were thinking like Tissue One or something.
Oh no, he lives in Milan and I'm in Venice.
Oh, okay.
So,
That makes sense.
yeah, and Kishimoni is kind of Japanese. He's more Japanese than Italian, but whatever. So that's the mix-up. Everyone gets mixed.
Yeah.
So,
No, I knew that Tissue One was Japanese. I just wasn't sure where he was and where you were.
yeah, I can actually talk about the lore why he is in Italy, but that's for another podcast.
Yeah, probably.
So stay tuned, guys, and follow and subscribe for BitExtend.
God bless.
That's what I did. But I didn't do because now I have Twitch Point. I can use Fortnite power to BitExtend after 20 minutes I watch the thing. It's very good.
Okay.
Good job, Twitch.
I just want to say
So-
real quick, sorry. I think the get new players into SG topic is pretty much done. Unless
There's
anybody...
something I wanted to say about it that I couldn't fit in.
Oh, sorry, yeah, go ahead.
So that was with Big Tony talking about helping new players and how to do so. And I just want to mention that it's called the XY problem, but basically the questions people ask is not what you should answer. Like, what was the example before? With Eliza and the ground grab, how do I play against Eliza? The real question they're asking there is, how do I deal with sewer grab? So if someone seems to be new and seems to be unable to phrase the proper questions, you should probe deeper and find out what the actual question
It's
they're
in your
asking
mind. Eliza is in your mind. You have to pull her out. You have to go deeper into your mind. Seek Eliza, find Eliza, and kill Eliza before she can sewer grab you.
You got to go into the Matrix.
Yes, exactly. To beat fucking sewer grab, Lamar, I just charge forward and then I sink. Lula. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Poor Disco Kid. He has a lot of things to learn about.
Sorry,
Skullgirls,
Disco
but
Kid
he's
will get
gonna do-
there.
Yeah,
shit, what the
everyone
fuck?
knows here.
I guess.
So, giving the XY answer thing that Nefri. Oh, sorry, Nefri, because Nefri is a nickname to Nephros. So
Yeah, it's dumb and confusing, but I'm the second one, so I accept the whatever the low tier nickname is.
No Neffy, you have all the rights in the world to be Neffy. Nobody can be Lil Tony if I don't decide it. So I'm the only one, and you can be Neffy, and I will have to accept it and learn it. So Neffy, I definitely agree with what you said about.
No, I've been confused when I've seen Nephros post things in Twitch chat and thinking that I said them.
Oh shit. So, that's weird.
No, but yeah. So, do you have anything else, Sniffy?
Nah, that was it.
Okay. Anybody else? Because we really need to start wrapping up soon.
Yeah, I got something.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. Yes.
So what happened with that breaking there, Chimps? Like a few minutes ago, I
Nothing
saw you.
happened. Nothing
I
happened.
saw you behind the truck, and then I saw you shake.
I
There was
crashed.
shaking on the screen.
I crashed into the sign. I didn't crash into the truck. It was a very narrow road. It was very difficult. I couldn't make it. I am going
That's
to
what
Venice
I
now,
said.
though. Tony, I am going to Venice now in my game, so hopefully
So
I'll
what
see
you're
you there.
telling me is you crashed the.
Oh,
I guess I did.
oh shit. That's kind of what I say when I have to do bread delivery after my day of work. Like, on top of making bread, I have to give it to like 160 houses
Yeah.
in less than 2 hours. So yeah, but my truck is a small one. I can actually do dirt rally with it
Hell yeah,
because
brother.
that's like my delivery route. I'm
Oh,
in
yeah.
the middle of nowhere.
But yeah, I think Shuffle, you wanted to say something? If it wasn't about the if you didn't actually mean to say about the topic, you can get cancelled.
No, it was straight up for the truck, so I guess I'm
Okay.
cancelled.
Okay. Anybody else got anything else to clear up that topic? Otherwise, we can just start shooting the shit.
I think we've been shooting the shit for quite a while.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to formally
Yeah, a
close it
little
out. Because it's been like highlighted on topic 3 all this time, but we really haven't been talking about it. So if anybody,
well, we
anybody
kinda
has,
stopped when I said we should probably infiltrate the Switch community, and then we stopped.
well, you should have fucking shut up. I was like trying to get people to be like, hey, can we like stop talking about that? But we didn't. But either way, I guess that's about it.
People if we go to Switch, or get someone to go to Switch and advertise there,
Yeah.
because that's part of the topic: how to get new people into Skullgirls. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, I have so much people for some reason. They have living in the Nintendo cave. That they only play Nintendo branded consoles, and they never got a PC or anything else that is not a Nintendo. And they're like, "Oh my fucking god, this game is the best game on earth!" And like, and you're like, dude, yeah, this game has been out for like 8 years. So, so like, you have to be very patient with those kind of people, even though they might not seem to learn anything from people that dump, but you have to live with it. So, I forgot. So. Yeah, a lot of people will come from will see this new flashy fighting game on Switch because it's recommended for playing Smash, and it's understandable because that's how store markets work. And yeah, just redirect them into PC is a solid option, or just find a second person so that at least they can play each other by using the server, so that they can still do matchmaking on their own, like play Disco Kid and me can play on a Switch when I will get one. And by the time people will come, the matchmaking will properly work. But for now, the redirecting people to PC sounds like a solid option.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who's got a Switch? Drip, yeah.
I just wanna clear close out the topic. I guess we're pretty much done talking about that. We have finished our main topics for today, which I'm pretty happy about. I think this is probably one of the best podcasts we've done because like all the conversation was really...
Yeah, of course it's the best one.
All right. Just because like all the discussion we had for the most part was pretty on topic, and we like got a lot of stuff done. Is this going on YouTube? Yes, this is going on YouTube. I can't wait. The bot just said where it gets posted. The SGOCE YouTube. Every podcast gets posted there. Yes, please. Thank you. Please follow that. We need more. We need more. What do you call it? Subscribers, so that if we have 100 subscribers, we can actually change the URL. Instead of youtube.com/channel/blah blah blah,
Is that a thing? You have to be 100?
Yes, you need to have 100 subs and need to have channel art, which you can just put up any photo, I guess. And you need to have 100 subs, yeah.
Dude, I did that like 8 years ago.
Yeah, you used to be able to do it for free, but now you need to have 100 subs.
Oh yeah, cool. Well, now it sucks. Like now it sucks less, but it still sucks.
Yeah.
Like when it was kind of cool. I remember when you had stars to put on a video. You were a fucking hotel review.
Yeah, please rate this
God.
video. God bless. Old days.
Yeah. Put 5 stars and no sub for sub, or I'll kill you. Something. Naruto pictures and shit. Okay. Oh god, good times. I'm getting nostalgic.
You need to sub. You can like if you want. You can comment if you want. You need to sub. Though. Oh, fuck.
You need to sub.
Almost.
You need to sub. Okay. Where are you in the game?
I am. Where's my map? I am going. Oh, fuck off. I'm still in the UK. I think. I am close to Grimsby.
I can't. Yeah,
I can't really get the Brexit update.
I
can't read Italian in England. That's not Italy. You said it. You said that you were driving in Venice.
I'm going to Venice. Sorry.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm going from Newcastle in England to Venice. I have not been to Venice before. That's cool. That's another city in Los
real life or in this game?
Oh, in the game. Also in real life. I guess both.
Oh.
I did not crash. I almost did. Please, no fake news. But
if we've moved on from the previous topic, can I ask if people have like biggest memorable moments from?
Yeah, I wanted to mention that, like any stuff to just close off the year.
Of the OCE Skullgirls year that just concluded, or like in general, like
SGOCE most likely, but yeah. I hit a sign. That's about it. I have not hit anything else.
So a few weeks ago, there was 38 seconds of Skullgirls that was played, and that was pretty cool. It's a Twitch clip, but it's just an absolutely awful 38 seconds of Risky vs. Mao, I think.
So, you said OC. I was about to say my best tournament results. Fuck. So,
I mean, you can still talk about yourself, but it's a OCE wrap up.
But nobody gives a fuck about me. I still have to beat Sonic Fox. Come on.
Oh, good,
nobody
bro.
will even care.
Nobody
will even care.
Have you played the knife?
Yes, I can beat the knife.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah. Like I can play the Fat the Knife team, like with squiggly point, parasol behind, and back bend.
Oh yeah.
That's the Fat the Knife. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like Zenef is the scout, I'm the fat scout. That's the comparison.
Oh, I see.
So I'm Fat Zenef when I play Parasol Point. Because I feel like, this character is so heavy. And Parasol to me feels heavy. Very heavy. But yeah, best OC moment, easily, every time beat extend, assist gets baited. It's the truest OC moment.
The truest OC moment is when it hits, bro. I know what you're on.
But it's gonna hit anyway, anytime and everywhere.
Every time is the best OCE moment. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but like the memorable moment is when he gets baited and not punished. You have like people throwing their big band into the mess, and they just not die for some reason. It's the best.
It's pretty good.
It's lovely. Or like, if you're against Squiggly and she has 1 bar, she can just level 1 sing and mess your band or mess your assist. And you see like that Squiggly sitting on 3 bars of meter, and I'm like, burn that fucking meter, bro. But they just die with meter. They crouch block for some reason, too much, and get opened up by, I don't know, stuff. and that's the truest OC moment. But now there are so many solos and so many exotic teams that I really like. are really inspiring. I'm doing like this meme of the week thing where I sit on quick match in voice chat, pressing randoms until I find a team that I like, and I just play it. And 1 year ago, I was like into Valentine bike assist. It was the best because you can jump around, call bike, and air bypass. So you fruit ninja plus bike.
Nice.
Because the bike will cross up because you fly over them, and that's the best because you get a full corner carry. Okay, arrivo.
He just like, his mind just lit up. He's like, holy moly.
And so like watching you guys is very inspiring because you kind of switch teams a lot actually, and not every single person, but in general, every time I tune in, I see someone playing different stuff for the most part, and that's really cool. My best personal moment was me doing Raging Demon on Lunatic at Bavaria Burst and doing the Akuma pose. That was the best. And then I actually won the tournament, beating Sanji Frio with Solo Squiggly.
Oh, sick.
OD. Solos are a thing.
Oh, nice work.
Solos are a thing. And Squiggly is a thing. Don't at me.
That sounds more rigged than BKB. Oh, Tony, did you get to see the team tournament I take?
Not yet.
Oh, you should probably watch it, Tones. It's quite a laugh. It's somewhere on the YouTube, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, and a lot of very good moments, and I should make a highlight compilation of the offline tournament. And Reb getting top 5 at Revolution. That in Italy we called it Revolution because that was his best tournament ever. Showing the unlimited power of Fuqua M Shadow. No, of Beowulf M Shadow. It's galactic.
What about dash assist?
Dash assist is you have to be having a weird one. Like, I don't know. It can work, but are you actually going to be proud of using it? I don't know.
I can't believe you just ended Shuffle's life just now. Sorry.
Dude,
this is my best OCE moment of the day.
Unbelievable.
Dude,
He's
yeah,
dead.
of course.
You've killed him.
Oh shit, sorry.
It's
I
over.
remember you. Now I remember you. Now I remember.
Worse, I just thought you already remembered me.
Can we do a moment for the fallen heroes of this year? Starting with Shuffle.
Poor Shuffle. I can't believe he's dead.
Okay. I made this is the death of a very well-known and respected players and the rise of Disco Kid. So may Disco Kid be among of the best Skullgirls player, and like him many more in the future. And now I'm heading out. I'm gonna eat. They already called me 3 times.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
Alright,
okay.
bye, Tony.
For having me, and it was a pleasure. And please contact me more for more podcasts. I would love to be here.
Oh, good, bro. See ya.
We'd love to have you on us.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.
As for highlight. Hang on, it has to be backwards if he's leaving. Oi!
That's so fucking funny.
That was great.
As for highlights of the year, I think running Skullgirls OCE, running Skull Majors this year was pretty good.
That was really good, yeah.
Fun time. Yeah, had by all.
Is this good? Like more mages in general? I think like the heck. Oh, okay, whatever. Yeah, I think what's it? Fuck. Sorry, go ahead.
More mages.
I guess we already talked about that.
Oh, we kind of did. Not like outright. Like we said, like CJ got third at BAM. That's about it.
Yeah, that's about it.
Well, BAM got its own podcast, so we don't have to talk about it.
Yeah, BAM and Ocean got their own podcasts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's that.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So,
It's just like like running majors is good. We should do it more often. It's always a good idea.
Yeah.
More people should go to more majors. Like try to make it to an event. I think that's pretty good.
I would like
It
to
is
go
good.
to AU stuff next year.
It'd be cool,
if
yeah.
possible.
Shit's expensive, but yeah, if you can do it.
Oh,
I
not
think
that much.
Big
I've been
players
thinking-
going to YSB is probably.
Yeah, going. It's like setting out for a YSB or BKB or whatever. Like BRB, whichever guys you
What
whatever.
would that be?
No, yeah, we have like too many. I know.
Who's
Whatever
presenting
tournament you can go
someone?
to. Like if you can go to a tournament, then go to a tournament, basically.
So yeah, I've got a couple of moments
thinking
that I
about-
thought of. Go ahead. Go ahead, Kobe.
Yeah, I've been thinking about like back to locals, I guess, but I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
That's
so
about it.
the moments that I think were good this year, or that I could think of, were the risky CV in the Oceania versus Japan thing.
Oh yeah,
That was
the
awesome.
CV versus Brass. That was.
That
pretty
was so sick.
I was losing my shit in that moment.
good. He,
Uh,
I don't think he did it on reaction either, because
You can't react in that.
Yeah, you can't react to that, especially not in the lag.
No
Yeah.
lag, no.
He just knew.
It didn't come into play, but I liked how he was pulling out orange vials.
Yeah.
The other one, or one of them, was slam time. Just that whole.
The slam time was pretty good.
By the
Now
way,
continually insisting it wasn't slam time.
by the way, for people who care, this is how you can change what side you are on in your truck. You just pay 27,840 euro, and then you get 60,000 refund. So you pay 11,000, and you just change what your thing is.
Yeah.
And now I can drive in the EU with my same truck.
Slam time was good. Slam time was good.
Sometimes it was funny. It was, I don't know if it's funnier that it didn't last, or funnier that it, or like less funny that it didn't last.
I don't know. I think just in the moment it was good.
I guess I wasn't there, so I can't tell.
I mean, if it was consistent, it would just be like, well, I mean, if it was consistent, I mean, Pipsy's beating now. But, yeah.
It was a magic moment.
Yeah, it's a meme. It's a good highlight.
Yeah. Me being on the opinion dash was pretty cool for me, I guess.
Oh, that was cool.
Even though I still get memed about it, I can't wait.
Something top 2 or whatever it was.
Can't wait to
Plus, ages,
can't wait to put this motherfucker into the fucking ground. Am I right?
Good.
So yeah, the other highlight I had for this year was me winning the band bats where all the top players were there. That
pretty
was
cool.
just mine.
Pretty good.
It's pretty alright. Don't got much to say to that. You done did the thing in 3 out of 5. It's all good. In DE, that's sick. I'm not mad.
Billionaires tells me to tell all of you that they hope your day was good,
My
Of
day was
course they would say
alright.
and they say hello.
I can't wait for Willie to win a tournament and just go suck my bazongas and just lead the server. It'd be the most epic. It would be the most epic conclusion to the Vilina saga.
Billy did win a Smash tournament, and then they quit Smash.
God bless.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, I'm not playing Smash anymore. I won Smash 4. And that's pretty sick.
That's sick. Can't wait. Can't wait for that to happen to Skullgirls.
I just remembered another thing Demise played Wing Zero.
Oh, dude,
this
fuck!
year. That was sick.
We didn't say anything about Demise at all. That's fucked. Demise was like the rising star of 2020, actually. Like, not even joke.
I couldn't remember if his rise was at the end of last year or this year.
It was mostly.
Oh no.
But yeah,
Actually, no, yeah.
obviously
Right.
he was like a big deal.
Yeah. Fuck, this sucks, dude. I wanted to talk about it more, but like I remembered it, but then I thought like Drip is also pretty cool, and then I forgot about Demise. He's gonna get so mad, but he's not gonna listen, so it's alright.
Did he join this year?
Nah, he joined like last year. So like, but I mean, I changed the rules for you, so I should change the rules for him.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying because like I think he joined during my hiatus, so he could have joined the latter half of last
Yeah.
year.
But he was also another person who like grinded a lot. Also, good night, Tony.
Yeah, Demise. I mean, I think Demise totally fucking probably grinded better than I did. So he's better than me.
He probably got better than CJ. Like now you probably can't tell because he's a rusty piece of shit. But like now, like back then when he was super grinding, it was like really hard to tell whether he was better than CJ or not.
Wait, are you saying that Demise now is better than Demise?
No, he's worse now, easily. He used to be better, like, but he like stopped playing. Sorry, what?
Demise then is better than CJ then, or Demise then was better than CJ now?
I don't now. I don't know. But
Yeah.
back then, probably. I would probably put my money on it.
I think now we're pretty even.
Yeah. Now you might have the advantage, if anything. I don't really know.
I mean, he beat me in the last rigged event. I mean, it was rigged, but he beat me once and then I beat him once. So
Okay. Well, yeah,
Pretty
there we go.
it was 2-1 and then 1-2.
I saw
Okay.
that too.
Wait, how was it rigged?
It was it was like just a fun, like it was a 2v2 team tournament, but the seeds were totally random. So we just paired up just completely random players.
I can't believe
And
CJ and Kadu
We
teamed up.
just
That was fun.
we just happened to win. Me, Kato and me just happened to win. Just just coincidence.
That's fucked up. That's actually fucked up.
No, it's fair. I lost to Billy, so I can't be that good. No.
Alright. That's 2 call outs.
Nah.
No, but I get what else. Yeah, the OCE Japan exhibition was really, really useful. Well, not
was
useful,
cool.
like really, it was really epic. It was a really cool experience. Everybody got to like see more stuff. OCE got a lot more representation and like exposure out of that. I think that was pretty tight.
Weird footage.
It
Sorry,
was like
what?
the first time where we had a huge number of like viable competitors.
Yeah, we
There's-
had like 10
like-
people at the same time.
If you go back like 5 months or whatever, it would have been max 5 people who would have been able to take on Japan.
Yeah. But I think the spread was overall really good. Like a lot of the players, like the Japanese players lined up with the OCE players fairly well.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Which was
only
surprising.
won like 6-4, right? That's pretty,
Yeah.
pretty close.
If I didn't fucking throw it, it would have been 5-5. Actually, I didn't throw it. I just like couldn't. I just didn't know what to do. I was completely befuddled. I'll take it. Demakla is saying, I think both my mental game and my actual play has improved a lot recently. I'm gonna continue. Hell yeah, brother.
Shuffle says, how about Mike Z and Danny Sin stream?
Oh yeah, he was there for like 20
What?
minutes.
He was there?
Yeah, he was there for like 20 minutes for that last
When?
one.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then-
did he say anything interesting?
He just said, he just said, wait, isn't that the same match we just saw 10 minutes ago? And it was because I just played Risky, and then I put in the replays afterwards, and my first set with Risky was right there. So I like played my set with Risky twice. And that's what happened. And then he left.
Terrible. Awful time for him to come in.
Yeah, it was whack.
That is whack.
When did he show up?
Like 2
He
weeks
showed
ago.
up when he was playing a duplicate match.
Yeah.
Well, no.
He like made a meme, and then I was like, alright, Mike, that's not really funny. And then he said, wasn't that the same match you just played? And I was like, oh shit, you're right. And then he left.
Wow, that sucks.
That actually wasn't that epic. Sorry, Shuffle.
Pretty unepic sounding.
Yeah, pretty unepic. What else was really epic about this year? For the New Zealand scene, Mao showing up here was pretty epic. We played a bunch and it was pretty tight. The story of that, I don't know. I don't think I've told it. I've probably told it, but people don't probably know. Is that I was running a Smash tournament, or helping run a Smash tournament. What the fuck? I was helping run a Smash tournament. What the fuck?
Yeah, what does that be?
What is that?
I'm getting pinged on Discord?
Why does your Discord ping sound so whack?
Yeah,
know.
what is that?
No, it's just my phone. It's just my phone notification, but it's reading Discord stuff. It's
Basically
Discord.
now
It's
booked
Twitch.
the wrong tickets.
No, yeah, I'll tell you. So I was running a Smash tournament, and I told him out like, "Hey, you can come over and have fun and hang out and shit." So, and he was like, "Yeah, sure." And he bought flights, and he bought them real cheap. Except he bought them for 2 weeks before the tournament. And then he tried to reschedule the flights, and no joke, they told him it would cost him $380 to reschedule his flights.
Amazing. So they gave him that face, and they were like, "That's how much it'll cost."
Apparently. So he literally was like, if I buy new flights, it will cost me less money. So he just bought new flights, and he showed up to this one anyway. And it almost didn't work, in the sense that I was supposed to go to New Plymouth that weekend, which is like 5 hours away. And he would be he would be in Wellington, and nobody would be there to play him in Skullgirls. Or like he could like maybe go to Drip's place or whatever, but like he was supposed to show up to mine. But and like I convinced my parents that, hey, I don't want to go. My friend is coming over. He's coming over for an engineering meeting.
Engineering meeting.
Yeah, he's coming for an engineer. No, he's coming for an engineering not denizen. What the fuck? Engineering denizen. He's coming in for a engineering workshop. Yeah, that's what it was. He came for an engineering workshop, so he's supposed to So he wanted a place to stay, and I told him that I was available. So the fact that you told me that we were going there now is incredibly inconvenient. They were like, okay, sure, whatever. And so Mal shows up, and now he's at my place, and we played on Friday, and that was pretty fun. And then Saturday morning, Drip is trying to net play at like 7:40 a.m. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll play. I just woke up at 7:40 a.m. and I heard a net play, and it was complete trash. And I, as a joke, said, hey, Drip, just come over, it'll be alright. And then I realized that he could actually just come over, and I told him, hey, yeah, just come over, and we'll have fun. Then he showed up at 9, and we played Skullgirls all day. It was pretty fun.
Bassy.
Nice.
And then we also had like a bunch of Smash people show up, because the house was for myself, so I was like, I can run a tournament now. And we ran a tournament, it was pretty tight. And that was that. Like, we played, that was all on Saturday. We still played a bunch of games on Sunday and stuff, so there was that. That was a really memorable event. I think that was pretty sick. And that also had a first to 10 that I played with Mao, where at one point it was like 8-3 in his favor, and then it became 8-8, and then it became 10-8 in his favor.
Oh, that was such a funny set to watch because Chimps was so mad.
I was so yeah.
He
Every
was
time.
so frustrated for like so long, and then he made the comeback, and he was like still mad.
I was like, no, it was 8-8, and I was like, I can't wait for myself to fuck this up in a 2 out of 3, and I did, and there it was.
Yeah, well, that's what.
Willie once showed up to their training partner's house at 7 a.m. asking to play Smash. After they told, if you want to play it in hand, let me know.
Anytime. 7 a.m. is the time.
No, but they said let me know. I guess.
Yeah, well, showing up at someone's house is letting them know.
I guess so. Yeah. It's pretty based actually. Like, being onto the grind or whatever.
It's real Billy hours. Time for Smash.
God bless. I can't imagine grinding that hard just for fucking Smash 4. That's fucked.
Look.
I guess it is what they had at the time. They couldn't play Brawl. Sucks to be them.
Yeah, Brawl, they fuck.
I don't know why you bring up Brawl as the alternative.
Because, like, it isn't Melee. It's a Smash game that isn't Melee.
Well, what's wrong with Melee? Why would they not play Melee?
Because they wanted to play Brawl, apparently. So they didn't want to play Melee. I don't know. Whatever. Melee Stinky? Okay, bro, you're already cancelled. Is that... Okay, Arios is 200% nuclear? Okay, that makes... Okay, I get it now, I guess. Because that person showed up a while ago, I think in a podcast or something, and then talked mad shit, and I had no idea who that person was. Now everything makes sense. Okay, cool. I get it. I mean, not that I'm opposed to shit talking. It's all good. But,
Or
you know, here we
OCE.
are.
It's like our culture.
Yeah. And I invited, so it's alright. Is English up here? Probably.
It's
She's
still
like high
pretty
mid,
good.
I think.
Inkling's, yeah, high mid, I would say. It sucks. Ultimate sucks.
Mad agree. I wanted to like it, but then the game doesn't want me to like it.
Nah, I don't mind it. I'm just bad.
The game keeps buffering my
I can't-
feelings about the game. I can't be fucked. But
Lucina, I play Lucina. She's cool. I just hit sword button.
hell yeah, brother. Any other
It's-
things? Jedi, what do you think was your highlight of 2019?
Well, weird question, hey, because there's like a lot of bad stuff that happened with me. But I mean, I liked when I won them in OHN, I guess. Even though I really like. Even though like I felt like I should have won and I expected to win, so it wasn't really that exciting or anything. But I don't know. I have to like dig a bit deeper to think about what was good.
That reminds me of what Aloof said about Biggie. Remember that?
That's sick.
At the that's so funny because like Red was going off.
Let
about
Jedi
his, like,
speak, alright?
dude,
Shut the fuck up.
I mean, it was
my
cool
bad, my
being
bad.
like a multi-game champion at least, eh?
Oh, didn't you win
Yeah.
BB Tag and Skullgirls at the same tournament?
Yeah,
BB
that
Tag.
jam.
Nice.
Did you win
Yeah, I
BB Tag
remember
at OHN?
No, I came second.
You lost to Tez, I guess?
No, I lost to Ragkyo.
Who the fuck?
He is a Chinese student. He's gone back to China, so I'll never play him again.
Fuck, he
Really?
got farmed.
You won't get the run back ever.
You got
Yeah.
farmed.
You got
I think
farmed.
the
You got
Tez
farmed by
don't get their
Chinese.
haircut cut.
By Chinese players. He's probably gonna try to look to farm your organs instead. That's what.
Oh, come on.
Your racism out of left.
We are shooting the
You don't
shit.
even do that.
It's
don't even
shooting
do
his
that.
shit, alright. He's shooting his J prematurely.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, one like highlight of the server is getting a server boosted, so we can have 50 more emotes. That's pretty alright.
Oh yeah, sweet. Nice.
So we could have dumb emotes to just shoot the J.
We do have shoot to the J as an emote though.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, okay.
Server boost. Do we lose those emotes if we don't server boost again?
Yes.
Yes.
You lose 50 random emotes. You can't even control which ones you lose.
Oh really? It's 50? I thought it was just the extra 50.
No, yeah. If you have the 50, you get like the extra 50. If you don't have the boost, you don't have those 50 anymore. But
I
you
thought
don't
it was
get
like in adding order, so the latest 50.
No, it's
Like,
just
to say
any-
the latest
it's
server
any.
50.
Because
Damn, that sucks.
the one time that happened, because I think somebody forgot to change their boost or something.
I ran out of money.
Yeah, that's what it was. I think 380 stopped working because of that.
Ah, that's all.
And 380 is like one of the first emotes we had, so it's pretty fucked.
Alright, can we get shoot the J in chat? We've got 3, 4.
Shoot the J.
It's a godlike bad emote.
We gotta shoot the J.
We should put in more emotes into our FFZ as well. We haven't done that in a while.
Oh, we have a fair amount. I put a couple more in lately. I don't know.
Better than
We've got some
Squid
pretty
Feet.
good. We've got some pretty good ones.
Squid
I
Feet
don't
is
want to put no squig feet.
get cancelled.
No, I'm canceling anyone who puts squig feet into FFC. They're getting banned from the server.
And now we're just driving around. Fuck, Venice is 13 hours away. That's fucked.
How much is that in like game time?
1 hour is 4 minutes. So 13
Okay.
times 4. It's what, 65? Still got an hour to go. Fucking hell. At least I'm back in the EU though. I don't know in UK anymore. I don't have to hear Boris Johnson's rampant racism, so he can hear mine.
Nice.
Kobe? Did you say that's
Alright,
cool?
Alright, I can't believe I have to ban Shuffle now for posting squig feet.
We
Please.
didn't play the game anyway, so okay.
I'm really trying to think of what cool moments we had. I think OCE vs JP was pretty cool. Opinion Dash was pretty cool, all things considered. Tons of new players showed up and played. That was pretty cool. Tons of new players got good
Yeah, we
really
got a lot
quickly.
of
That was also
players.
really cool.
Yeah. 2020.
What else was really, really cool that I'm trying to remember? Doing the podcast was pretty cool. Self-referential, I guess.
Nice.
The fact that we're doing one now. I think
I like
podcasts have been. I think the podcasts have been generally pretty okay because a lot of the time we just talk about an event, which is really easy to not mess up.
True.
I think a couple of them we had like an actual topic. I think question mark. We had the analysis one. I think the analysis one was pretty good. I like that one a lot. It's not one that is like really rinsable, I guess, because it's really lame. Like if you do that all the time for all your podcasts. But I think if you do it like once every 5 or so, if you're like struggling for topics or whatever, then I think it's pretty fun.
Yeah. I just shitposted that time by sending a stupid clip.
You what?
That my submission.
Did you submit me versus you? I mean, that's not a shit post.
Maybe it was you, and it was the one where I was like H5 5 times in a row and teabagged you.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I mean, you know, whatever. I don't know that it matters a whole lot.
Yeah, no, it was fine. I learned.
Yeah. I think overall I can't remember if I did more or less analysis. I definitely haven't done the high level analysis I wanted to. I definitely haven't finished my guide for anti-airs. I just need to, like, I think I literally just need to fix what Gelato said that is wrong. And I think
Yeah,
it'll be
so,
presentable.
like, in my first month or so of playing the game, I asked you how to deal with anti-airs, and you gave me a link to that doc.
Yeah. And that doc is almost finished now, can't wait.
And the doc had nothing on it at that time.
Oh,
And you're like,
please.
here's a guide how to deal with anti-airs. Cool.
That's amazing.
I can't
It's work in progress, bro. It's early access. You gotta fund his Kickstarter if you want to get the full guide.
Yeah, you should have had a link to a Kickstarter.
I didn't know it was like empty or whatever. I legitimately
You didn't know
can't
that you
remember.
hadn't written it yet?
Oh no, it wasn't actually empty. It just had no information on it. It was literally just an introduction paragraph that said, like,
Jumping
hey, this
is
is a guide
cool.
for doing anti-airs, and had no actual advice or anything of substance.
Yeah,
That's
it was
fine.
like the 3 types of anti-air are this, this, and this, and it's like, okay, what do you do with this? I don't know. No, but I legitimately cannot remember doing that. What the fuck? Okay. Really struggling for topics here, bros.
Well, I think I might head off
Oh,
unless you have
I
something.
zoned the fuck out. I've been reading Twitter.
I'd like to discuss the topic, not the topics, the schedule for 2020, but I don't want to do it here. I'd rather we like finalize it and then I can put out like a graphic or whatever.
Yeah, that's something that we should just do in text chat.
Sounds
Yeah.
better.
Like spend some time tomorrow, try to like hammer down something. That'd be pretty cool. But do note that like we're not gonna have we are most likely not going to have weekly random bets anymore. We will probably have something else in instead, but weekly random bets is most likely cancelled. So
No.
Man, I'm in Dragon's Dogma just chilling in the inn. I'm like, why is there fighting happening? And it's actually just fucking Jedi Link playing Dragon's Dogma.
I don't know why you can hear shit through my mic. It doesn't make sense.
Wait, how is there a fight happening inside the inn? There aren't supposed to be any monsters here. That doesn't make
I'm
any
gonna
sense.
mute then.
is it? No. This reminds me. The funniest moment of Ranbets this year was Jedi's the stupid music or whatever. Not the music.
Well, yeah,
the
when he
YouTube
played
video.
something. He played some music, some YouTube video. That was fun.
Yeah, and then he didn't realize that we could hear it. That was so funny. But then he goes, "Can you guys hear me?" That's also pretty iconic.
It's like hunting harpies or something. I'm like, what the fuck? How are there harpies here? It's like I didn't even suspect him like it would be on the microphone. I was like, because I was playing one specific game. It's like just playing the same.
Like
exact
literally he's playing the same game.
game. The same exact game, yeah.
That's great. Wait, you playing Dragon's Dogma?
Dragon's Dogma, yeah.
Dragon's Ligma, am I right?
Ligma. Dogma balls.
Dragon's Dogma's alright.
Also, we're coming up to 4 hours. So
We're totally shooting this shit. We're doing nothing.
yeah, not even shooting.
Magnum
that
bomb.
shit. Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna stop the stream right on that.